levels.
Mr. Tall called the police on you.
He called the police on me, yes.
A nuisance downstairs.
And he slammed my door on me.
I felt threatened. She flipped me off one day.
Or a busybody upstairs.
He was saying that I was a drunk. I have not had a drink over 6 years.
She has no evidence.
You and he had differences.
This is Judge Judy. Vicki Lewis is suing her apartment neighbor, Michael Tall, for moving expenses as the result of his slander and harassment.
Judge, this is case number 34 on the calendar in the matter of Lewis versus Tall. Parties have been sworn in. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Ms. Lewis, in 2016, you moved into a residential community, according to your complaint. Was Mr. Tall already living in that community?
Yes, he was.
Mr. Tall?
Yes.
When had you moved into the community?
2006.
It is your claim, Ms. Lewis, that owing to the defendant's actions and his conduct and his complaints against you, which were not true, you were given a notice to move by management.
Yes.
And you are suing Mr. Tall for making those false accusations and for your moving costs. When you moved into the community in 2016, by the way, is this a senior community?
Yes, it's a senior building.
What kind of an apartment did you have there?
I had a downstairs apartment, and he was right up over my apartment.
In 2016, when you moved into the building, did you have any confrontations with Mr. Tall in 2016?
No, in 2016, I didn't know who he was.
What about in 2017?
In 2017, it came to me that he was looking up my record to get my background of my crime, and he shared it with the neighbors.
Was that true, Mr. Tall?
No, I did the background check after the confrontation at her security door.
Well, tell me when that was. Was that in 2017 or later?
That was October of 2018, I think.
Tell me about the incident that suggested to you that it was appropriate for you to look up her history. Not that there's anything unlawful about that, but nothing happened in 2017 and most of 2018. What happened later in 2018 that caused you to look up her background?
I had heard that Miss Lewis was inquiring about who had a camera. So she'd asked one of my neighbors, and he just offhandedly happened to mention it to me. So I wanted to go down and see her.
Who owned a camera?
Did not know at the time I had a security camera on my patio because my car had been broken into twice.
Let me stop you there for
Certainly.
a second. Do you remember that, Miss Lewis?
No,
asking
that did
who
not
had a
happen.
security camera?
No, that did not happen.
Okay.
So
Yes, continue.
So I went down to ask her if she had issues, and I found out, much to my chagrin, that she was informed that I had emailed a neighbor and CC'd it to management about Vicki possibly having a yard sale in her apartment, a garage sale in her apartment. Turns out it was for her church. I misunderstood that. No action was taken. The property manager, even though I CC'd her on the email, and the email to my neighbor was, and I think this is very relevant, my email to my neighbor was, Joe, we've just had Joe from Brooklyn. So I emailed Joe. I said, Joe, we just had 2 bikes stolen a month or 2 ago, and now a tenant's going to have a garage sale, mistakenly, admittedly. Don't you see anything wrong with that? And I CC'd it to the property manager, Giovanna. And so when Ms. Lewis found out it was me that had reported that, and she thought the camera was involved when it wasn't, I heard 4 tenants were talking, is right outside my patio door. But she's not a real fan of my camera.
Okay.
So anyway, as I could see, she wasn't amenable to my apology. My voice raised.
Well, just a minute. You haven't gotten to the apology yet. So far, you advised a neighbor and management that she was going to have a garage sale in her home.
Mistakenly.
And that was incorrect. So you haven't gotten to the apology yet. The apology, according to you, according to your answer, you went down to her apartment to apologize. Do you recall, Miss Lewis, Mr. Tall coming to your apartment?
No, he did not come to my apartment.
That's untrue.
He came down to my apartment. Someone brought it to my attention that he made a report to the manager that I was going to have a yard sale in back of an alley. So then he also was saying that I was a drunk. So I asked one of the neighbors, I said, are you Mike? Because they described him, and the person I asked was he Mike, and then they said no. So he came back downstairs about 5 minutes later. He came to my door and was just standing at my door, staring at me. And I said, "Who are you? What do you want?" And I said, "Oh, you must be that Mike." And then he said, "Yes, I am that Mike. And what about me?" So I said, "Why are you going around sending a note, which I have not had a drink over 6 years?"
Not true, and she has no evidence.
And,
I never said that.
Why did you...
Just 1 second.
Why are you saying I'm going to have a yard sale in the back of an alley? That's crazy. And I have evidence right here where he wrote a...
Okay.
Concerning
I
that.
would like... Shh, just a second. I would like to see evidence that he accused you to management of being a drunk.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the garage sale.
I have the statement about he said he was apologizing about me having a yard sale at the church, but he did not write down about me being a drunk on there.
Is there any evidence that you have that Mr. Tal alleged to anyone that you were an alcoholic?
No, I just have the one about him saying about the church sale. I wrote a letter to the owner talking about it.
Talking about what?
That he said that I was a drunk.
Talking about what, Mr.
That he said I was going to have a yard sale, and also I was a drunk.
Well, I would like to see where he said that.
Okay, this right here it say, to who it may concern, Western Hill Property Management. I, Vicki Lewis, is
I
writing...
can read it. Sure, okay. No. Miss Lewis, let me read it.
Okay.
Well, what your letter says, and a lie that he told me about having a yard sale, and also that you threw a beer bottle in the trash. You allege in this letter, so the letter doesn't call you a drunk at all. Even the letter that you say that the allegation was that he told somebody that you were seen throwing a beer bottle in the trash.
By him saying, he was saying I was throwing 2 cases of beer bottles away daily, and I'm an alcoholic. That's what he said. I'm a drunk.
Just a second. I don't know who he said it to.
Well, he told...
So far, the complaint that he wrote to management had to do with the garage sale. Let's move further. Miss Lewis.
Okay.
You say it's sometime in October of 2019, Mr. Tal called the police on you.
He called the police on me, yes.
Mr. Tal, in October of 2019, did you call the police with regard to any action that Miss Lewis was taking? And if so, what action did you see that caused you to call the police?
There were couple of 3 days leading up to the calling of the police in which I felt threatened. She flipped me off one day, menacing looks at my camera for weeks. And that's okay. She doesn't like me having a camera. That's perfectly her right. So anyway, the reason I called the police is I heard her, again, the camera wasn't involved. She hates the camera. She went out to speak to somebody who had some beer bottles that they were recycling. On the balcony, my security camera showed her making what sounded like, and people have different interpretations, I thought she said, I'm going to cut you. And at that point, given what had happened during the previous week, I decided to call the police, see if we could de-escalate. Not file charges against her, have the police come and de-escalate. So the gist of the police visit was that they advised us both how to file a restraining order, and that was about it. No crime.
Okay, and you did not file for a restraining order?
I did not.
You did not. Now, after that event, and that was in 2019.
October.
That was in October
yes.
of 2019.
Yes.
Ms. Lewis, what is your next complaint about Mr. Tal's behavior?
Okay, well, October the 6th, I put a police report on my phone.
Just a second. Did you call the police?
No, I wrote a police report over my phone on October the 6th.
Who did you file it against?
Against Michael.
Why?
Because when he came down...
What was the basis?
When he came down to my door, and when he was cussing at me, he got belligerent. And he slammed my door. I told him to get away from my door, and he slammed my door on me. And the manager even wrote me a letter saying that she seen when he had slammed my door on me.
I would like to see that.
Especially
letter
since
from
it's
the
not
manager.
true.
Just a second, I would just like to see it. Send me. Who is this from?
This was from the manager, Lisa.
But Mike did not share it with me. He investigates everyone. Keep going.
This is...
There's a comma there. He investigates everyone looking for trouble. Is this from your witness who's here today?
No, it's from the manager that we had. She was the,
All right.
She was the manager of the park.
I got it, yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He called, and 3 police came to my door
How many times did the police come to your door?
once.
That day.
Once. So I heard about, just a second, I heard about that already.
Vicki Lewis claims apartment neighbor Michael Tall slandered her to management, resulting in her eviction.
Now, who was the witness you brought with you today, Miss Lewis?
My sister, Cheryl Stewart.
Okay, and what is she a witness to, or is she just here to sort of keep
She
you
was
company?
a witness when we had just came back from outing with her boyfriend, and we came to my house, and I was in my house for about 35 minutes, and 5 minutes later, he called, and 3 police came to my door, and she was there when that happened.
How many times did the police come to your door?
Once.
That day.
Once. So I heard about, just a second, I heard about that already. The second thing you're complaining about is something that involved your son,
Yes.
who came to the residence and was in the parking lot. According to you, your son has some mental issues.
Yes, you do.
And you have a restraining order against him?
Yes, I have it here.
Okay, is it still in effect?
Yes, it is.
When was the last time you saw your son?
Since I moved, I'm not allowing him to know where I live at. I just moved July the 15th, so I'm not letting him know where I'm staying at right now.
Did he visit you when you were living in the same complex as Mr. Tall?
Well, after I put the restraining order on him, each time he came, he was like was acting like not himself. So I had him arrested about 5 or 6 times.
Okay, so Mr. Tall, you understand that this was a child who has issues that his mother had a restraining order against. Did you complain to anyone about that?
Yeah, well, there's a long history, and I'll keep it short and stick to your question. Terrell is, I think, probably in his mid-20s, early 20s. He's had a number of instances, 2 that didn't even involve me. Another one, the police were called, I'm going to say he apparently, he was yelling and screaming, and they called the police, so there was a ruckus. Because I'm trying not to insult her son, because it's difficult enough for my young brother had problems like this, so I can relate. So anyway, and then for some reason Terrell kind of turned and he started doing vandalism. In one event, it was actually illegal. He kicked in the passenger door of a neighbor's car who he has no issues with. He doesn't even know the neighbor. And I have that on video.
I'd like to see it. I would like to see it.
Yeah, he said I had to talk to the people. I don't have to be one. If I'm the one that's supposed to be one, it's trouble. I don't want them there. I don't need them there.
We're almost there.
Bye.
Who is that?
Bye.
That's Terrell. Talking to his mom. Here we go. Poor guy. He's got problems.
I'm not going to be another one. I'm trying to destroy you. I know property. $2.
Okay. Mr. Tall, you reported that to management.
I did.
Good.
With video.
You have to. Just a second. Just a second. That's something, Miss Lewis, that I would report to management if I lived in a building.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I would be frightened living in that complex, seeing how angry that young man was and how he kicked a car that was not his, was not yours.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Vicki Lewis says apartment neighbor Michael Tall is responsible for her getting evicted.
Okay, so let's get to the bottom line. You moved out of the building when?
I moved July 15th.
And it says in your complaint that you were given a 60-day notice by management. Do you have that notice?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. Okay, So what I'm seeing from the letter that you got from management, that the reason that they give for you causing issues at the complex, that's the reason that they give.
Well, he made a report. He kicked the car on January 16, 2020, and then he also came back March 2nd, which they told me they was giving me a notice on March 2nd at 10, and I went straight over there where my son stayed, and he was in the bed sound to sleep, was not nowhere in the neighborhood.
Okay, Miss Lewis, I just saw a video, and it was clear from the video that your son causes problems in the complex. It's clear from that. You indicated yourself, Miss Lewis, that you've had your son arrested 6 or 7 times.
Yes.
For causing problems. So it's very difficult. I understand, and I am totally sympathetic with you with having a child who has issues. But you were told to move for something that was, I don't think that the complex actually had the right to tell you to move because a non-resident against whom you have a protective order is the basis to have you move. But you can't ascribe that to Mr. Tal.
Well, Your Honor, he kept writing
that video that I saw was frightening, and that was the reason that the complex gave to ask you to move after it was escalating, and the last time he actually caused physical damage to somebody's property, to their car, who lived in the complex. Now, whether or not that's a reasonable basis for the complex to ask you to move is something else.
Well, Your Honor,
and certainly...
There were 5 incidents.
I spoke with the lady...
Just a second.
I spoke with the lady...
Miss Lewis, you indicated to me that you moved July 15th, and that you are so fearful of those incidents continuing that your son doesn't know where you live, nor are you telling him where you live. Is that right?
Right, yes. The reason why is because I have the restraining order on him, and he did come over a couple of times with the restraining order, so he won't be able to come over to my house. But also, Mike had called the manager and told the manager I was harassing him also, and I got a letter. They was telling us to move away from one another in October the 23rd. He made a complaint on me concerning that also.
That's okay. You and he had differences. You're allowed to have differences, and he's allowed to give his side to management. You're allowed to give your side to management. It's not actionable.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It may be against the complex where you live if the reason that they gave you for asking you to move is because your son created issues in the complex. A child who does not live with you. There's no need to answer, Mr. Tal, because so far you're not losing this case. Do you understand?
Well,
so silence is golden. Perfect.
Well, I talked to the lady
Lewis.
with the car, and I asked her. He said he also was going to complain concerning this. She said there was no damage
Ms. Lewis,
to her car.
You have no case against Mr. Tal. I would be frightened living in that complex, seeing how angry that young man was, and how he kicked a car that was not his, was not yours. What I'm telling you is you don't have a cause of action against Mr. Tal for reporting his perception of what he saw or of sending a video to management about what took place below his window. You have no cause of action against him. He may be a busybody, he may be involved, but the reason that management gave you for asking you to move were actions by your son, and those complaints were accurate, so you do not have a cause of action against Mr. Tal. Case is dismissed. We're done here. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Tails were wagging, no growling.
It happened so quickly. He had already bitten.
A vicious attack.
There's no question that your dog injured hers.
Judge Judy.
By my son having a mental problem, it was not my problem.
I think it was mostly about her son because there were 5 incidents.
He's prejudiced, and he also was harassing another black woman on the property.
Oh, no, I helped 3 people, 2 of them were African Americans, move their flowers downstairs.
He came to my door, and after I told him I wasn't a drunk and to stay out of my business.
I still feel sorry for the situation she's in with her son.
The band he hired rocked.
Did Mr. Phillips pay you?
He wrote 2 checks to us.
Then he rolled.
Both checks bounced.
Can you not say the word bounced again, please?
They were bounced.
Time to face the music.
I was doing this for charity.
He's not doing it for charity. You knew that there were insufficient funds. Do you know that's a felony?
This is Judge Judy. Musician Daniel Hernandez is suing event promoter Lawrence Phillips for money owed for a performance and bank fees.
Judge, this is case number 20. Parties have been sworn in. You may have a seat.
Mr. Hernandez, it is your claim that the defendant owes you the balance of a contractual obligation that you had with him for you to perform with a band at a venue where he was hosting an event.
That's correct.
According to you, you did the work. Mr. Phillips gave you 2 checks. Both checks bounced. He did pay you some money. He still, according to you, owes you several $1,000s. And you've tacked on the bank fees for the return checks,
Correct.
which was about $30.
Yeah.
So far,
Yes.
is that, in a nutshell, what it is?
Yes.
You indicate in your complaint, Mr. Hernandez, that you have a day job, which is not playing with a band. What is your day job?
I work for a HVAC company.
And how long have you been doing that?
18 years or so.
And how long have you had this little side hobby of the band?
This particular band, about 3 years, but I've been playing my whole life.
And did you form this band?
It was a conglomeration of 2 bands that we were all friends, and we just played one time together as a favor at an event in Riverside, and we just thought, this is pretty amazing. Let's keep doing this, and we've been together ever since.
How did you meet the defendant?
Through a mutual friend.
Can you tell me what month and year that was?
A couple years ago, not the month exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this, when you were supposed to perform with your band and what the financial arrangement with the defendant was.
The actual performance was September 28th of last year, and we were to provide the band and also to contract for the staging and the lighting and the sound.
Staging, lighting, and sound.
Yes.
Well, let's deal with that part of the claim first, because that's also in this claim.
Sure.
You did contract with the staging, lighting, and sound. How much was that?
In my part, the staging, lighting, and sound was apparently $4,000 altogether. However, I took care of $2,000 for our sound guy because there was a check made out to him as well that had bounced that Mr. Phillips made out.
And that's your witness.
Correct. Oscar.
So he has proof of a bounce check from Mr. Phillips as well. And that was for the September 28th?
Well, yeah, because it was that same date. Yeah, the same performance.
Okay. And what were you supposed to be paid?
$1,500.
So the band was supposed to be paid $1,500 for the evening.
Correct.
Did the band perform that evening?
We did.
Did Mr. Phillips pay you?
He wrote 2 checks to us.
And in what amount were those 2 checks?
In the amount of $750 each.
Did he give you those 2 checks before or after the performance?
He gave me one and then another check the day of the performance.
Before the performance?
Correct.
Do you have proof of their being dishonored by your bank?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
And that it was dishonored?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Band deposit, balance $750, and it was returned. Where's the other check? Okay, why were the checks returned, Mr. Phillips?
First of all, Your Honor, this event...
Not first of all. No, my words. Why were the checks returned?
They were returned because there was no money to cover them. Because I did this event as a charity event.
Just a second.
And I was waiting for sponsorship
Mr. Phillips,
to cover the checks. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Phillips, Mr. Phillips.
Yes,
You wrote checks on a bank when you knew that there were insufficient funds.
No, that's not.
Do you know that's a felony? Do you know
I've
that
never
that's
had
a
a
felony?
felony in my life, and I understand what you're saying.
What I'm telling
but this
you,
event was
what I'm
for
telling
a
you,
charity
Mr.
event.
Phillips, I don't care. It's not important to me.
Oh, okay.
What the event was for. You hired the plaintiff for a certain fee, which was $1,500.
Yes.
And you gave him 2 bad checks. You can't do that.
I'm aware of that, and I do.
So, Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Phillips did give you some money, correct?
Correct.
How much did he give you? Eventually.
Right. $950. $350 in one payment and $600 in another one.
So he owes you $550.
There is one other check that I had that was no good as well from him. There's a total of 3 bad checks.
Well, how much were you supposed to be paid? You showed me 2 checks.
Correct.
One said $750 deposit, and it said balance $750.
Correct.
That's the evidence that you produced. What is this other check for?
Okay, so the other check was another check that was paid to Oscar, and the check wasn't any good. So it was another check for $2,000. And because I deal with Oscar, I told him, okay, give the check to me and I'll try to work it out with LP, Mr. Phillips. And so he did, and this check was also no funds available. So I actually paid Oscar.
So you covered him.
Mm-hmm.
Did Mr. Phillips agree to reimburse you for that?
Correct, he did.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. When did Mr. Phillips agree to reimburse you for that?
In conversations after the event.
Well, tell me about the conversations. Then I'm going to ask Mr. Phillips.
Promises to pay with different dates.
No, he owes you, clearly he owes you $550.
Right.
The only question is, does your friend, who is your witness, have to pursue Mr. Phillips on his own? Or did Mr. Phillips agree to you covering that check and he would pay you? And I want to hear about that.
It was a verbal conversation that we had.
Well, tell me when and where it took place.
Probably
On the phone, in person?
Yes, on the phone. And we just made an agreement that he would pay everything that he owed me, including that.
He paid you $950. He only owes you $550. Mr. Phillips, did you write another bad check for the audio people?
Yes, I did. I presented a check. Once again, this is a charitable event, and I had sponsors that promised me to give me money, and I wrote that check with the intent that I was going to get the money that night.
Mr. Phillips, try just to pay attention to my question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you and Mr. Hernandez agree that he would make good this check for $2,000? I'm going to repeat that. That's a very simple question. Did you and Mr. Hernandez agree that Mr. Hernandez would make good on this bounce check to the stage guy for $2,000?
Can you not say the word bounced check?
There were the insufficient funds. That's a bounce check.
Okay, I understand.
Did you agree with Mr. Hernandez? Did you ask him to make good on that check and you would pay him?
He requested that of me, yes.
On the phone?
On the phone.
Did you agree to do that?
Because, yes, I was expecting sponsorship money to come in, and it didn't, and I agreed.
So then the answer is you did ask Mr. Hernandez to cover
He told me what he was going
to... The $2,000 check, and you said, then I will give it to you when I get my sponsor's money.
Those are my exact words. Yes, ma'am, I did say that.
Fine, very good. Then you owe him $25.50. Judgment for the plaintiff. Oh, excuse me. Do you have proof of your bank charges?
Yes.
I'd like to see them. Put them up.
You don't even want to see what I was going to show you about the stage?
No, I don't. I don't like people who write checks on bad accounts.
Well, no, it was not a bad account. It was a good account. My sponsors just didn't give me the money. I was doing this for charity, for the Gay Pride, Whittier Gay Pride. I did it pro bono, trying to get sponsorship, Your Honor.
You can do it.
He's
not doing it for charity.
I know he wasn't.
He's not doing it for charity. That's your charity. Okay, just a second. So how much did they charge you?
They actually charged me
$5. Oh.
Yeah, that on one, and then
so they charged you $10 altogether.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It is correct.
$25.60. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you. By the way, nice meeting you.
This case is concluded.
And you.
Parties are excused.
Wrote the checks. They were bad.
I wrote those checks on, it's called a faith check.
Took them, thought they were good. A couple days later,
And all of a sudden, it didn't happen, but...
noticed that they bounced.
Oh, you can take faith to the bank, but you got to have a little bit more than faith. You got to have that money in their hand, baby.
And from then on, it was just...
He's an incredible performer, and...
Can you pay me? And it went on for almost a year now.
You know, it happened the way it happened. I'm sorry it did.
It was amazing performance. My band Remix, incredible.
Thank God it's over.
All parties in the matter of Anders versus Warfield. Step to the podium, please.
Derek Anders Jr. is suing his former friend, Trevin Warfield, for stealing his stimulus money from his bank account.
Mr. Anders,
Yes.
you and Mr. Warfield were friends?
Yes, before.
And at some point, according to your papers, you received a stimulus check from the government in the amount of $1,200.
Yes, on April 27th.
How were you advised that you got that check?
Through the IRS. on my Cash App.
Do you have that Cash App with you so that I can take a look at it? Just put it up on the evidence screen.
For sure.
Thank you. Is that the only proof that you had that you got this stimulus check?
Yes. I also have a direct deposit of $1,200.
Of what?
A direct deposit in the same Cash App as a Cash App?
I'd like to see it.
Okay, for sure.
Yes. In what bank was it deposited?
It's Cash App is an app on your phone. That's basically the bank that I was deposited from.
Is that the way you pay your taxes, sir?
I don't think so, no. I wouldn't use Cash App for my taxes.
Well, how did they know to find you to give you $1,200?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, we were friends for 8 years. I've never stolen a dime from him.
Mr. Warfield?
Yes.
He's going to tell me what evidence he has that you took his stimulus money. I'm breathless, Mr. Anders.
Derek Anders Jr. says former friend Trevin Warfield appropriated stimulus money from his bank account.
Well, how did they know to find you to give you $1,200?
Yeah, I used my routing and account number and put it on the website.
So you went on the IRS website. Understand how this works?
Yeah, for sure. I went on the IRS website.
And
I put in my routing and account number, and then they sent the money over on Cash App, on my Cash App. And so, yeah.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an entrepreneur.
What does that mean? I mean, I know what the word means. In what way are you an entrepreneur?
An entrepreneur. I'm a singer, songwriter, model, mogul, dancer, performer. I go, different places to try to make a living for myself. So basically, it's just, it's like entrepreneurship, like going out and doing what you want to do for your life and not having to worry about, like, actually.
Well, tell me the things. Who do you live with?
Right now, I'm currently just living at home right now with my family.
Who is your family?
Different people. I have, like, different family members. So many different family members that I have, No,
I want to know who you're living with now.
Right now, I'm, like, where I'm living, well, with my mom or, like, my mom, my stepfather, I have a stepbrother. I have so many relatives.
That's not a hard question, sir.
Yeah,
if
for sure. It's just a personal question.
Who are you living with? And you said family. It's not a personal question if you're living with family. I just ask you what family you're living with. It's not a hard question. I live with my mother. I live with my brother. I live with my sister. That's not a hard question, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just trying to find out who my players are. Okie dokie. And according to you, and this evidence that somehow appropriated $1,100 of your $1,200 stimulus money that was put in the bank by the IRS. Because I assume you did that because you are currently undomiciled, so they can't send you a check. So you went on the website to say, just put it in this PayPal or what is it, Cash App, whatever. So tell me what makes you believe, what evidence you have, Mr. Anders, that Mr. Warfield, who was once your friend, took $1,100 of your stimulus check.
Yeah, we
from
were
your
close friends.
entrepreneurships.
Your Honor, we were friends for 8 years. I've never stolen a dime from him.
Yeah.
I've never stolen a dime from him.
That's untrue, Your Honor.
Mr. Warfield.
Yes.
He's going to tell me what evidence he has that you took his stimulus money. I'm breathless, Mr. Anders.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I received threatening text messages from him, and Mr. Anders was just calling me all types of names and things like that, and it was ridiculous. And it just got really insane. I had to block him and cut off all communications with him.
Well, what did he say to you when he called 2 months later?
Real cases, real people, says former friend Trevin Warfield appropriated stimulus money from his bank account.
So tell me what makes you believe, what evidence you have, Mr. Anders, that Mr. Warfield, who was once your friend, took $1,100 of your stimulus check.
Yeah, we
from
were
your
close friends.
entrepreneurships.
Your Honor, we were friends for 8 years. I've never stolen a dime from him.
Yeah.
I've never stolen a dime from him.
That's untrue, Your Honor.
Mr. Warfield.
Yes.
He's going to tell me what evidence he has that you took his stimulus money. I'm breathless, Mr. Anders.
Yeah, I have evidence right here. It says this is the name that he goes by online. I guess it's called Little Hoochie Daddy. And we've been knowing each other for so long. That's his username on, I guess, Instagram or even on Cash App. That's the name that he goes by. And it says, I have more evidence right here that says that he took it. It says payment to Little Hoochie Daddy. So you know that he took the money. It says payment to himself. I used his phone. He got my login information and just basically used my account. So, I mean, you know, when you think you're friends with somebody and they use your account and then they just, you know, I guess he sent it to himself when I didn't know. I don't know. He logged in without my knowledge. That's the reason why I'm here. So my money was stolen.
I know the reason you're here, sir. I'm looking for proof that he took your money. Right. He took it.
Well, through Cash App, you can send it to yourself. So, I mean...
Mr. Warfield,
yes,
did Mr. Anders confront you about taking his money?
Mr. Anders did confront me. He confronted me 2 months later after the fact. I received threatening text messages from him on July 4th. I just landed in Florida, and Mr. Anders was just calling me all types of names and things like that, and it was ridiculous. I was at the airport arguing with him, and it just got really insane. I had to block him and cut off all communications with him.
Well, what did he say to you when he called 2 months later?
He was like, Trevin, I seen your name on my Rev receipt. You stole my money. You're this, you're that. And I'm like, Derek, I have no reason to steal anything from you. We've been friends for 8 years. And for him to just accuse me of stealing his money is just completely ridiculous, Your Honor. I have no reason to steal from anybody.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Warfield?
I'm a nursing assistant.
You traveled from California to Florida?
No, I went to Florida for the 4th of July to go visit an old friend. I have a vacation house there, and so I went there to do some remodeling on it, some painting.
How long have you had the house there?
Since 2014.
Do you own that house in Florida?
No, I don't own it. Mm-mm.
Who does own it?
My friend owns it.
You said you were doing remodeling
in
Florida.
I was in Florida from July 4th through July 6th. Monday morning, I flew back to San Diego.
So you were just there for 1 day?
I was there for 2 days. I got there Saturday, July 4th, and flew back home July 6th.
And you helped him paint in that 1 day?
I helped him paint, yeah, 1 day, just 1 day. It was like a Sunday fun day project we did.
It's a long trip.
Well, it was worth it to see friends and things like that. So some things you just do for friends.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Mr. Anders, you have any other proof that Mr. Warfield took your money?
That's all besides his username, I mean.
Okay. I don't know whether he took your money or whether he didn't take your money. He says he didn't. I'm not satisfied with the proof that you
I also have another,
shown me.
some more proof.
Well, then tell me. I'm ready to say goodbye to you.
The same proof that I showed you before is
Don't show me the
Cash App.
same proof you showed me before. Don't show me the same proof you showed me before. I saw your proof. You said you also have other proof.
Yeah, it was like it says, the 28th. The money was stolen on the 27th.
Okay, done. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
You thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel.
He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel.
This was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority.
No.
Judge Judy.
Well, I'm very, very satisfied. Judge Judy did not believe him, as you can tell.
I think it was upsetting to me due to, having hard times and not being able to, make ends meet.
He was a complete fool on national TV.
And, the money was put into my account, obviously, on Cash App. I don't know if she knows what Cash App is.
All he does is lie, and he's just ridiculous.
But anyways, that's how I feel. And even if it was money's nothing on paper, like my grandma used to tell me.
To be honest, I really think he went out and partied with the money, which is ridiculous.
But at the same time, I do feel upset that the money's still not there.
Well, sometimes people get where they need money, and they will...
He lied. He said he didn't do it. Maybe he didn't do it. I don't know. There's another person that was on there that, that's all I have to say.
Accuse anybody of just doing something crazy like that.
Oh, no, we're not friends. We don't talk.
No, we're no longer friends. I don't need friends like that.
One dog owner spotted trouble.
He sort of immediately started to growl and be aggressive towards a larger dog.
My dog's never growled in his life, Your Honor.
You don't know that. You only had the dog 6 weeks.
A new owner sees what he wants.
Tails were wagging, no barks, no growling.
It happened so quickly. He had already bitten her and had her in his mouth.
To me, it still wasn't like a vicious attack.
There's no question that your dog injured hers.
This is Judge Judy. Gemma Coster is suing fellow dog owner Michael Daniels for vet bills resulting from an attack at a dog park.
Judge's case number 43 on the calendar in the matter of Costa versus Daniels. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Costner, it is your claim that the defendant's dog attacked your dog in a dog park.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Daniels?
Yes.
Says that actually your dog was the one that nipped at his first, and you should have been taking your dogs to an area specifically designed for smaller animals. Tell me when this incident took place.
It took place on Friday, July 31st. It was probably about 4:45-ish.
Had you been to this dog park before?
Yes, I've gone multiple times. I take my dogs probably 3 to 4 times a week, about the same time every day.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have 2 terrier mixes. So one is a rat terrier, Boston terrier mix, and the other...
Approximate weights on each.
Ellie is about 22 pounds. Prancer is smaller. He's 15 pounds.
Reasonable size. What kind of dog do you have, Mr. Daniels?
I have a golden lab mix named Jack.
And about how much does he weigh?
About 91 pounds, according to his last vet visit.
How old is he?
We were told he was 3 years old, Your Honor, when we rescued him back in June.
So you rescued him in June. This happened within about a month of your becoming his new owners.
Correct, about 6 weeks.
So I would assume that you had not been to this dog park frequently before.
Not frequently. We've went the prior 2 weeks prior to this third visit.
Is there, Mr. Daniels, a separate area for large dogs and small dogs that is marked in the dog park?
Yes, Your Honor, clearly marked on the gates of both entrances.
Is that right?
There's a sign that has a recommended weight limit, correct, not a required limit.
Okay, but what is the recommended weight limit for small dogs?
I believe it's 30 pounds for the large side and under 30 pounds for the small side.
Are they fenced in any way?
Yes, the 2 areas are fenced in separately, correct.
Could you tell me why you didn't take your 2 small dogs into the small dog area?
So actually, we tend to go on both sides, so we've taken them onto both areas.
The question was a simple one. is suggested for small dogs. I would certainly take my dogs into a small dog area rather than one where there are much larger dogs. As a dog owner for 60 years, it's just would be my preference, and there's a certain wisdom to that. That's why they separate the areas large and small. So I'm just curious as to why you took your 2 small dogs into the large dog area.
Honestly, I've done it for a long time, and Ellie enjoys playing with larger dogs. You know, she's 22 pounds, but she's pretty tall, so she likes to play with bigger dogs. And there are way more details to this story that really show that, honestly, the size of my dog has nothing to do with this, and I would love to share those details.
I'm going to let you. I'm just curious as to why, and I'm certainly interested in hearing the details of what you have to tell me. But you're the parent of the 2 dogs, just like you're the parent of children. And if you take 2 toddlers into a toddler pool, and if you take older children who are a little more rough and tumble, I would tend to take my toddler into an area where there were other toddlers, so that if they fell or if they were pushed or something, they would be shoved or pushed by someone of an appropriate size so that they wouldn't be hurt. And I sort of feel the same way about dogs. If you have a dog, a 100-pound dog can cause a great deal of damage to a 15-pound dog. So I, as a parent, would want to exercise due caution. That's what I'm suggesting to you. That doesn't mean that the defendant wasn't at fault. I'll hear you. I'm just talking to you about you being the parent. The dog doesn't have any choice about where to go, just like a toddler doesn't have any choice as to where to go. The parent puts the child in a position. And if you put your child in a position where they can get seriously injured because they are tiny and the other kids are bigger, well, that's your responsibility. So now you're going to explain to me how it's Mr. Daniels' responsibility to pay for the vet bills when he had his big dog in the big dog area.
Sure, absolutely. So, you know, on that day, as per usual, I took them to the park. They played a little bit on the smaller side. They went back onto the bigger side where we've interacted with similar dogs.
Just a second.
Yes.
Ms. Costa, you're going very fast. When you say you took them to the bigger side, in order to get them to the bigger side, do you have to go out the smaller side and purposely go into another gate to go into the larger side?
Yes.
So you left the small side, you went to the big side. And?
Correct. And we entered the park. Clarify. So she went off and played. They played for about half an hour. It's a very big park. So after she had played and interacted with the dogs who were there, who she knows, I went to sit in the chairs that are directly across from the entrance. And both Ellie and Prance were sitting next to me. And because I'm facing the entrance, I can see people who are coming in and out of the park. So I did see Mr. Daniels enter the park with his dog, take his dog off the leash. A lot of the dogs were congregated in a shade area. He went over, that dog went over. They played for a little bit, and then pretty quickly, his dog focused on a whippet dog, and that dog sort of started to scream and get scared and start to run towards the gate. I watched his dog chase that dog towards the gate. Other dogs followed, as dogs do in parks. The owners came. The owners took their dog, left the park, and I believe he took
the owner of the whippet.
Yes,
correct.
Just
the owner of the whippet came and took his dog and left.
Correct. And Mr. Daniels had his dog by the collar. He let go of his dog, and his dog ran very quickly towards the opposite end of the park, probably about 15 to 20 feet from where I was sitting. And he sort of immediately started to growl and be aggressive towards a larger Australian shepherd.
Incorrect.
Just a second, Mr. Daniels.
Okay.
First of all, don't interrupt her. Second of all, you don't know that. You only had the dog 6 weeks. Okay, go ahead.
So I watched as his dog sort of acted aggressively towards this Australian shepherd. The owner picked up the shepherd. You know, it was a big dog, but he picked him up, to try to separate him. Once again, Mr. Daniels
well,
had
they
his
weren't
dog.
just a second.
No.
Yes.
Ms. Costa, just a second.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
I told you not to interrupt.
Okay.
They hadn't been fighting.
They had not made contact. They were barking at each other very aggressively.
Correct.
Correct.
They were barking.
Very
Correct.
aggressively, yes.
That's not a...
Fine.
Sorry.
They were barking very aggressively. You're interrupting again, which is irritating.
Sorry, Your Honor.
So now, and?
Okay, so at that point, I said, no, this is not right. This does not look like it's going to go well. I'm going to take my dogs and leave. So I have a split leash to keep the two dogs on. So I put them both on the leash. I stood up. I started to walk towards the gate. I didn't get very far, probably 10 feet, and his dog ran over towards mine, again, barking aggressively. And so I tried to put my foot sort of in between the two dogs and pull my dog back on the leash to separate.
Which dog? You
Ellie.
had two dogs.
Yes, so Ellie, the terrier, she's the 22-pound dog. And so she's the one who interacted with his dog.
Just a second.
Absolutely.
Ms. Costa, when his dog ran up to you and to Ellie and was barking, did Ellie bark?
After he growled the second time,
Mr.
yes.
Costa, so his dog barked and growled once, and then Ellie started to bark.
Yes.
Now the two dogs are barking at each other.
Correct. So I...
Just a second. So you have a 22-pound dog barking at a 90-pound dog.
Yes.
Are they facing each other?
Yes.
And you have yours on a leash.
Correct.
And Mr. Daniels does not have his on a leash.
Correct.
Is there any reason why you didn't pick Ellie up?
So
as soon as you saw his dog start to come over to where you were...
It happened so... I'm so sorry.
It happened so... You started to say it happened so quickly.
Yes. It happened so quickly, I could not get down to pick her up. He had already bitten her and had her in his mouth.
You lost me at that they were two dogs facing each other and barking at each other. And then you said it all happened so quickly. The Golden had the terrier in his mouth.
Your Honor, barking at each other, it's a split second of barking. I mean, it was probably 4 seconds from when the dog started barking, Ellie started to break them, and immediately his dog had already bitten Ellie.
Now, you want to tell me what you saw, Mr. Daniels?
Sure. When I first got to the park, I let Jack off the leash, and he ran in the back with the other dogs. They kind of congregated near the back area. And tails were wagging, tongue was out, no barks, no growling. And then my dog looked at she said it was a whippet. I thought it was an Italian Greyhound. Either way, the dog was probably 10 pounds dripping wet. And it sounded like a squeaky toy. And so it started to run, and all the dogs...
But it was also a small dog.
It should not have been there. Absolutely, Your Honor. So
it should not have been there.
All the dogs chased him, and that's where she's referring to the incident of my dog showing signs of aggression, which I completely disagree with.
Okay, and then?
So me and another guy, we kind of ran towards the dogs because we were chasing along with it because, you know, obviously we want to stop the situation. So he got there first. He picked up the small dog over his head and kind of, you know, did one of these. And sure, it had some dust on it, but there was no... And during that time frame, there was no growling, bare teeth, no aggressive behavior. It was a dog playing chase.
It was sufficient, Mr. Daniels. It was sufficient so that the owner of the small dog, who I don't think belonged in that park,
Agreed.
went over to his dog out to make sure it wasn't injured because he was afraid, it appeared to you, that maybe his dog had gotten into some sort of a kerfuffle with your dog.
It's possible. I don't believe so because there was about 6 or 7 other dogs in that area, and he wasn't the dog owner. He was just a guy who was trying to stop.
Mr. Daniels.
Yes?
Try not to zig and zag.
Okay.
This is my business.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You said Jack went over to the plaintiff's dog in a friendly way and just tried to sniff her. The plaintiff's dog panicked, and it snapped and lunged at Jack's nose.
That's what it appeared.
That's not what you just told me.
Gemma Coster says a dog owned by Michael Daniels attacked and injured her terrier, Ellie.
Okay, you ran over there with the owner of the 10-pound dog because you wanted to make sure that there was no damage done, not by the whippet to your dog, but by your dog to the whippet. Is that a fair statement?
Sure.
Okay, so now you are aware of the fact that, well, you should be alerted to the fact has the capacity to cause alarm to both you and the owner of the whippet.
If I didn't chase after my dog during that incident, I would be a negligent dog owner. Of course I want to... If you heard a squeaky dog...
That's not what I said to you, sir.
Okay.
Now you are in a position so that you know that your dog has the capacity to not only cause concern to you, so that you ran over there, but to the owner of the small dog.
That wasn't his dog.
That's clear that you were aware of that. So were you.
Yes.
That's when you should have left the park. According to you, what you saw was this dog being aggressive towards a small dog that already really wasn't supposed to be in that area, and you had 2 small dogs. Now, if I had my 2 small dogs in the large dog area, and I saw another small dog being potentially the victim of a larger aggressive dog, that's when I would say, you know what? I'm getting out of this large dog area. I'm taking my dog back to the small dog area where the largest dog can't be more than 30 pounds. That's what I would have done as the parent. That's your responsibility. The dog can't take himself or herself to the small dog, but you. Now, how much after this first, what you described as aggressive behavior, was there some sort of Mr. Daniels kerfuffle with another dog where another owner picked their dog up and left? Come on. Was it a minute? Was it 2 minutes? Was it 3 minutes? Was it 5 minutes?
Well, I don't actually remember the incident with the dog that she's talking about.
If you don't remember it, I'll let her describe it to me. How much time elapsed between the first incident that you saw and the second?
Less than a minute. He had let go of his dog, and it immediately ran to the other end of the park and got into the altercation with the second dog.
Okay. So now, Mr. Daniels, you want to describe to me the interaction as you saw it between Ms. Coster's dog, Ellie, terrier, and your dog?
Sure.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was walking back from the incident with the smaller dog, and Jack was back playing with the other dogs, and it was about the time when I had walked back there. It's about 150 feet. And when I got to that area, I'm walking towards my dog, and there's a skirmish, a scuffle. There's 2 dogs, and then, boom, it just happened, and it ended with her dog getting bit. He didn't latch onto the dog. It wasn't, you know, like a vicious attack. Unfortunately, it was a dog just reacting to another small dog that shouldn't have been there.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but that is not true.
Just a second.
Okay.
Actually, what you said to me was, it happened in a split second, because I said, why didn't you pick up your dog? You said the whole thing happened in a split second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you rescue a dog, before you allow that dog to be free in a situation where they can cause injury...
We had 9 training sessions.
The training sessions clearly didn't work.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gemma Coster claims a dog owned by Michael Daniels attacked her terrier at a dog park.
Now, Mr. Daniels, there's no question that your dog injured hers. And what you said to me in your answer was actually not truthful. You said Jack went over to the plaintiff's dog in a friendly way and just tried to sniff her. Jack is a big dog, so the plaintiff's dog panicked. That's
opinion.
That's what you think. And it snapped and lunged at Jack's nose.
That's what it appeared.
Well, that's not you. That's not, just a second. That's not what you just told me. That's not what you just told me.
Okay.
So now I want to see the vet bills from Ellie, who I assume is okay.
She is.
Yes. Okay. So what are the vet bills?
Sure, let me show you. I also have the summary, the discharge summaries, in case you wanted to see the injuries sustained, but I will show you the bills first.
I would like to see the discharge summary as well after I see the bills.
Sure. So I have 2 bills. Do you want me to put them up one at a time?
Yeah, just tell me what the aggregate amount is.
Sure. So the aggregate amount is $4,591.72, and it's the total of 2 bills.
Okay. Now I'm going to see the discharge summary, please.
So here's the discharge summary. And here is the diagnosis of the initial injuries.
Okay. So this is what I think. I think that when you take your dog to a dog park and take it off leash, you assume certain risks. That's why I just never take my dog to a dog park. But I understand a lot of people do. Good for them. But the dog park people are smart enough to say, keep small dogs with small dogs and big dogs with big dogs. I think that it is unwise to place your dog in a situation where they can get this kind of puncture wound and crushed ribs from a dog that is 3 or 4 times its weight. I also think, sir, that when you rescue a dog that is an older dog, a dog that's fully cooked at 3 years old, before you allow that dog to be free in a situation where they can cause injury, the training sessions clearly didn't work.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so I actually think that while you are partially responsible, Mr. Daniels, for the injuries that resulted in her dog being hospitalized for 3 days, which was quite a bill because vets are expensive. I also, Ms. Costa, think that you bear some responsibility. And you bear the responsibility of being an overly indulgent parent. Because if your 22-pound dog likes to play with big dogs, and you say, well, I'm going to take that risk that my dog could get seriously hurt by a big dog, couldn't get seriously hurt by a 10-pound whippet in the small dog area, but could get hurt by a 3-year-old rescue dog that the person really doesn't know intimately because they haven't raised it since it's a puppy and they really don't know what its potential is. So you had vet bills of $45.92, and each one of you is going to be responsible for half. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $22.96. Thank you. We're done.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Bottom line is, a small dog came into a large dog park that shouldn't have been there.
Size has absolutely nothing to do with it. His dog was aggressive.
Things happen, but that's not my fault or my dog's fault.
I'm so happy that she's okay. It was really scary.
You thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel.
A quest for fame becomes a fight.
It was his idea to start the channel. This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel.
Now who's the one?
Wow.
Putting on a show.
He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off.
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority. It's not my first priority.
This is Judge Judy. Keshwan Clark is suing her former friend, Corey Ingram, for the cost of props to start their YouTube channel.
Now, it's case number 48 on the calendar in the matter of Clark versus Ingram. Both parties have been sworn in.
Thank you, Bird. Miss Clark, you and the defendant were friends, according to you, for a very long time. And according to you, you thought it would be fun to start a YouTube channel. I don't know what that is or what it's supposed to do.
So a YouTube channel for fans to see. The videos could be comedic skits, vlogs, anything like that.
And how do you make money doing that?
We haven't made money from it yet, so for you to make money from it, you have to have a lot of people watch your videos. You have to have a lot of subscribers, and your views have to be extremely high. You get, like, after 1 million views, I think you get, like, 5 cents per view.
When did you start this YouTube channel?
It was March 4th, 2018.
2018?
Yes, 2018 is when we started our YouTube channel, yes.
Great. And in order to start the YouTube channel, you had to buy certain equipment. Is that right?
Yes.
In order to start it, tell me what equipment you had to buy.
So for our YouTube channel, I purchased the camera, the massage wand, the camera bag, the reflector, the mic, the photo stand, the electric muscle stimulator. Those are all the things that I purchased for the channel.
Okay. And that was 2.5 years ago.
All of these weren't purchased 2 years ago. Some of them were purchased 2 years ago. And yes.
Then you didn't answer my question. I said, what items did you purchase in order to start your YouTube channel?
Yes, to start the channel.
It.
Yes, to start the channel.
You needed, don't look down. What did you need to start the YouTube channel in March of 2018? Did you need a camera?
Yes.
Did you need lights?
Yes, we did.
Did you need those things you needed in order to start it?
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So those things were bought 2.5 years ago, if they were bought to start it.
Yes.
Now, according to what I read in your complaint and in his answer, you stopped making these videos in June of 2020.
Yes, that's true.
Why?
We stopped making the videos because he wasn't putting in his part. He wasn't paying me half for all of the things that I put into the channel to start off. And as our YouTube channel went on, I felt myself having to force him to film videos. He didn't come up with much of any ideas. This YouTube channel was his to start. It was his idea to start the channel. I just helped out by purchasing a majority of the things that I knew we needed to start the channel.
Yeah, that's what you memorized that's in your complaint. So for 2.5 years, you worked together to make videos, and when COVID became a problem, it wasn't so easy making videos outside. Be a fair statement?
Yes, yes.
Is that your problem?
Well, we were making videos inside.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, during COVID,
Did you
yes.
continue to make videos? Did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes.
In March, April, May, did you continue to make videos inside?
Yes, in my home.
I assume that if you were doing that, then the two of you did it together in your home.
Yes, in my home, yes.
So did the defendant come to your home to make the videos?
Yes, we were never at his house to make any content. It was always at my house.
All I asked you was, did the defendant come to your house to make the videos?
Yes, ma'am.
And who do you live with?
I live with my parents.
Okay. So it was just you, your parents, and the defendant.
And the house is also my 2 sisters.
Now, where did Corey live?
Corey lives in Vista, so he's 7 minutes from my house. I live in Oceanside.
And he came to your house, according to what I'm putting together, at least through June.
Yes.
How did he get to your house?
He drove his own car to get to my house.
What kind of a car does he have?
I'm not sure the brand of car.
What kind of a car do you have?
I have a Chevy Malibu 2015.
What kind of a car did you drive to the studio today?
The Chevy Malibu 2015.
And what kind of a car did Mr. Ingram drive?
His car? His gray car?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yes, his car.
And when was the last time prior to today that you saw Mr. Ingram?
It's been a couple months. I haven't seen him in a couple months since our last video.
And exactly what date?
I'm not sure of the exact day, but I know it's June.
And what happened, Mr. Ingram, at that last video? You want to tell me?
Yeah, it was a reaction video to a music video that she wanted to do. This channel was never my channel. It's always been her channel. I don't know why she tries to say it's mine.
Don't go off on a tangent with me, please.
Got it.
I asked you what it was about.
Oh, reaction video.
And can you tell me why it is that, having been working closely together in what you refer to as a we project, the last video we made, which is what you say in your answer, tell me what happened on June 12th that caused you and the plaintiff not to see each other again.
Well, what she doesn't understand is this was her first priority. This YouTube channel was her first priority.
No.
It's not my first priority.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. Don't tell me what she has to understand.
Okay.
Don't tell me what she knows. Don't tell me what she thinks. Just tell me what happened on June 12th that caused two people who had been working together for 2.5 years to stop speaking. We're now in October.
Got it.
What caused you to stop speaking?
Life got in the way. So I was going to school at the time. I was going to work. I was also going to the gym. Before this, to better my life, before this, I was super skinny. I was unhappy. Every time we'd film a video, I saw myself on camera and I was like, wow, you are disgusting. I don't like the way I look.
The subject of some of the videos.
Correct.
Was the plaintiff also subject of the videos?
Yes.
What about her siblings? Were they the subjects of the videos?
No, not at all.
What about her parents? Were they ever the subjects or in the videos?
Her parents were in one video, and it was like a who knows me better type video, mom or best friend.
It was never posted. And yes, I've had my older sister was in one of our videos. Sorry.
You're interrupting.
Sorry.
Now, from March of 2018 until June 12th of 2020, when did the plaintiff ask you for any money towards the video equipment
She's never asked me for any
that
money.
she had purchased?
She's never asked her for any money.
Okay.
Wow.
So, Miss Clark, between March of 2018 and June of 2012, what proof do you have that you asked him to pay any part of this video equipment?
I don't have any proof.
What proof?
Yes, he promised that he would go half and half with me on this channel. That's why I bought all the things I bought. And this channel was his
and I
idea.
think you should sell the equipment. Sell it.
I can't sell it.
You have the most ridiculous countersuit. You have ridiculous countersuit. Your life is too busy for props, for a video.
Right.
You go to school. Don't speak. You go to school, you work out, you have a job, you have things. You don't have any use
Of these
for
props. Correct.
Do you understand?
Right.
Good. We're done. Case dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Sayonara.
You're
Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
This was his channel. It was his idea. That's why it's called Corey and Casey. It's not called Casey and Corey. It was his idea.
Our very first YouTube video we ever made, the question was, why did you guys want to start this channel? And I said, well, I wanted to start because you wanted to start. Why did you want to start?
We're doing a lot of pranks, a lot of reaction videos, a lot of ratchet videos. Whatever they asked for, the audience asked for, we made.
Well, we were been told that we have a really good personality together. People like us together. And so she's more rambunctious and she's more out there. She loves the social media atmosphere.
Nothing. I had to basically beg him to come to my house to film content for his channel that he wanted us to do.
I had other priorities that hit way above this YouTube channel.
Nothing. No, I'm not even kidding you.
So I was, like I said, going to school, I was going to work, I was going to the gym, to better myself, to make my life better. And I can't just help her without helping myself first.
I mean, I don't want to throw our friendship away over some videos, but I still want to keep the channel going if he's willing to actually put in some effort and pay me back.
Go anywhere near my wallet.
All parties in the matter of Shoemaker versus Aragon. Step to the podium, please.
23-year-old Karina Schumacher is suing her former roommate, 23-year-old Christine Aragon, for the return of her security deposit, damaged property, and stolen eyelashes.
Miss Schumacher, do you go to school? Is that what you do?
Yes, I go to UCSD.
You go to school?
I go to UCSD.
And Miss Aragon, you're a student as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were living in an apartment with other students?
Yes. Yes.
How many other students, Miss Schumacher?
4.
And did you sign a lease?
Yes, we did.
On what date did you sign the lease?
October 29, 2019.
And when did the lease expire?
At the end of June in 2020.
The defendant was your roommate. You're alleging 3 things. I'm going to get to them in relatively short order. It is your claim that in November of last year, almost a year ago, the defendant took a package that belonged to you inadvertently. You're not claiming that she stole it, but inadvertently took this package that contained eyelashes that you had ordered.
Yes, Your Honor. I ordered eyelashes in November.
I don't care. Just look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor. I have her eyelashes. I have them with me.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
Give them to her.
Okay.
That would be a now.
Okay. I did bring them, Your Honor.
No,
with
but
me.
they're outside.
Is somebody going to bring the eyelashes?
We'll wait. Go get the eyelashes. We'll wait.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge her?
I charged her $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you?
Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes for a security deposit and property damage caused by her dog.
Now, do you have her eyelashes?
Yes, Your Honor. I have the eyelashes with me now.
Could you give them to the plaintiff, please? Now you have your eyelashes back. Cause of action number 1, resolved. Cause of action number 2, did you damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor, I did not. She accuses my dog of studying finals.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
All I'm asking you is, did you knowingly damage her vacuum cleaner?
No, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. I have evidence here.
Just don't speak to me unless I'm asking you a question. How was your vacuum cleaner broken?
The cord of the vacuum was chewed up by her dog.
Did you see that?
No, but I do have a picture
of the chewed up cord
in her room.
I'd like to see that.
Yes.
Okay. And on what date was the cord chewed through?
September 26, 2019. I also have a second vacuum.
And what did you just a second. Did you get it fixed?
No, it was completely ruined, so I just charged her for part of the full amount, the amount that it cost me.
Hey. In September, when this happened, you said you charged her. What did you charge her?
The amount that I paid.
How much
for the
money?
Vacuum. I charged her $60, though it originally cost me $80.
Stop. Who cares? What is wrong with you? You took the $60.
No, she never paid me.
Just a second. I thought you said you took
her.
Did she ask you for the money for the vacuum cleaner?
Your Honor, yes, she accused my dog of breaking it, but there are other animals on the lease too. My roommate has a big dog, and Karina even brought in 2 rats into the apartment, and one of the rats crawled from her apartment to my room that I share with my roommate, and it died on the pillow.
Just stop.
Yeah, sorry.
I know you have a story that you want to tell me. I have to tell you, ladies, I am so disinterested in this case, but I'm going to get through it for the sake of getting it resolved.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he had a snake and he was going to feed them to it, and I decided to take care of them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice. Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Karina Schumacher says former roommate Christine Aragon owes for a security deposit and property damage caused by her dog.
Now, forget the vacuum cleaner. The next cause of action is money owed for the return of security deposit, because you say that her dog caused damage, resulting in them keeping your security deposit.
It was originally $200, but I'm only charging her $129 because I am paying for part of the cleaning fee of the apartment.
Did they keep your security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor. Nobody got their security deposit back.
Just answer my questions. I'm not really interested in all your nonsense. You moved out in March, is that correct? Because of COVID, Miss Aragon. School closed down in March?
We moved out June 2020, Your Honor.
I thought you said in your complaint that she moved out in March.
Yes, she moved out earlier. She went back home because of COVID. She came back occasionally to the apartment, but she moved out.
Did she pay rent?
Yes.
Did you pay rent?
Yes, I did. I have my rent receipt.
Okay, just a second. I didn't ask you for the rent receipts. I just asked you if you paid your rent through June. Now, everybody lost their security deposit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms. Schumacher?
We lost the security deposit because of carpet damages that her dog caused. And I have a video.
Okay, just a second.
Okay.
There were 4 girls in the apartment?
Yes.
How many dogs were in the apartment?
There were 2. One of them was under the leash.
How many? Just a second. There were 2. How many?
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of this, very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes or a no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
How many rats were in the apartment?
There were none.
There were 2 rats, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you have, at any time during the course of this, very easy, all I have to do is call up one of the other girls. Did you have any pet rodents in the house? That's either a yes
2 mice
or a no.
For a month in a cage.
So the answer is yes. What did they look like?
They were white, and they had red eyes.
Where did you get them from?
My ex-boyfriend, he had a snake, and he was going to feed them to it, and I decided to take care of them because the snake didn't end up eating them, but they ended up dying because they're just feeder mice.
Your Honor, my roommate slept on those rats.
They were kept in a cage.
Are you still doing school virtually?
Yeah.
Are you living at home?
Currently, yes, I'm at home. I'm in a house now with my roommates that she lived with before, and we're all friends and we're on good terms.
Objection.
So you are not at home with family, you're with 2 other roommates.
I'm at home with family as of right now, but my house is with those 2 roommates from before. We're renting it together.
You have a lease with them?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't understand. Are you living with your parents or do you have this house?
This is a house that we're renting. We have a lease with my roommates.
Who's we?
Me and our previous roommates from before.
And where are you living?
I am living in a new apartment near campus.
With whom?
2 of my friends.
Good, very good. Okay, I assume that you have an awful lot of time because going to school virtually gives you probably a lot of extra time, which is why I have to see you today. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Goodbye. Goodbye. Adios. Farewell.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
I have a police report. Your Honor, you're an exceptionally bright woman.
All I want to do is see the evidence. I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
Judge Judy.
I think this was all based out of pettiness. She was on the leash. She completely ignored her rats that were on there, too.
Her dog was not on the lease. On the lease, it says that any dogs that are not emotional support animals or service animals cannot be in the apartment. And her dog was not.
And none of these eyelashes or lost vacuum was an issue until the move-out statement.
As well as all the damages to the vacuums and the eyelashes that she stole from me that she never paid me back for.
It's just crazy to me. Everybody split the bill. We're all in the lease. We're all responsible, as it says in the contract, and she just does not agree and does not want to pay.
For asking her to potty train her dog.
No, they did not. She's just accusing my dog of everything, and it's just like, I honestly thought like it was just to the extreme.
Pick your roommates better.
It's just crazy to me. I still can't believe that I'm here right now and that she actually did take me to court over some eyelashes and a vacuum. But I mean, I'm here right now and everything is a lesson, definitely.
Who is that, Miss Eves?
Let me talk. Excuse me.
Sit down.
An open and shut case of destruction?
I have a police report, building security footage, the neighbors' footage.
Or will the judge?
I mean, Your Honor, you're an expert.
All I want to do is see the evidence. I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
This is Judge Judy. Malik Hanna is suing his former subletter, Isla Eves, for damages to his condo due to vandalism.
Judge, this is case number 62 in the calendar in the matter of Hannah versus Eves. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Hanna, how many rental properties do you have, sir?
Currently, I have 10.
Tell me what kind of properties they are.
Sure. So I have a corporate housing short-term rental company, and they're all in the Hollywood area, some in Long Beach, and I have a professional cleaning crew, I have a check-in service, and I pretty much maintain that in Los Angeles.
Tell me what kind of property, Mr. Hanna, you rented to the defendant.
It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo right in the heart of Hollywood. There's a gym. It's one of those properties that have some great amenities to them. So what it is I have relationships with different property developers and owners of buildings, and they give me the permission to do what I will with them, whether it's short-term leasing or rentals.
So you don't own this property?
Correct.
Somebody else owns the property?
Correct. However, the lease is under my name.
Properties in the Los Angeles area?
Correct.
Under a corporate name?
Correct.
And in the property that you have that Miss Eves sublet from you, because in effect that was a sublet for a couple of days.
Yes, Your Honor.
And your lease allows you to do leasing for as limited a time as 2 days.
Correct, Your Honor.
In any event, tell me on what dates you rented this particular apartment in Hollywood to the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor. So Miss Eves, I have here on my records that she checked in August 25th and checked out August 27th. She booked via booking.com. Then I have here proof of that reservation if you'd like to see it.
Yes, I would like to see it. Okay, so you rented this for $475 as the room price, and that included cleaning fee.
Correct,
Correct, of $95 per stay.
Correct.
Okay.
Which it wasn't
and
clean
there was
when I
supposed to
moved
be
in there.
two. Don't interrupt. That's supposed to include 2 adults and 7 children.
Correct.
Correct? Okay. So, Miss Eves, I'd like you to tell me the purpose of this rental.
The purpose of the rental was I was in town to do a video shoot, and my children...
You were going to do an entertainment video?
Yes.
Your children were the subjects of the video?
Yes.
So in addition to you and the children, did you have other people there to shoot the video?
Yes, ma'am. I had other artists.
How many?
In video, but they weren't all at the property at the same time.
Well, we're going to go over this slowly.
That's fine.
Miss Eves.
I had 3 camera people.
Did you have an audio person?
Yes, they were part of the
3
3-man crew.
Okay. And was this a music video? Was it to advertise a product? What was it supposed to be?
To advertise a song that I wrote, because I'm a songwriter as well.
And what were the children doing there?
Just acting out like a family scene, sitting at the table.
How old are the children?
9, 11, 4, 17, 16. And then there was one that was another 16-year-old. And then there was a 17-year-old who was one of my music artists.
Were these all your children, or did some of them have their parents there as well?
They were not all my children. The 2 that came from Atlanta were my music artist and his younger brother.
What this case is about, Mr. Hanna, is your allegation that either the defendant or someone in her group caused damage to the property and used...
Correct, Your Honor.
So do you have photographs of the damage?
I do, Your Honor. I have a police report. I have a building security footage. I have the neighbors' footage. I have the messages from the property owner and the building manager, and pictures that I could show you right now if you'd like to see.
Okay, with the exception of the messages from the building manager, I would like to see first a police report. And I'd like you, when you get that out, to tell me how you became alerted that there was a problem in the building.
So here's the police report so you can view that. Essentially, I'm not physically on site, and I got a call from the building manager. And I have those messages as well saying, Malik, we have an incident.
Just don't tell me what the message said. Okay. Was that on the 27th?
That was...
What date was that? Because I can't read this police report.
No worries.
It's too light.
Okay, date and time of occurrence is 8/28/20.
Miss Eves, when did you leave the building?
On the 27th, the day that I checked out. I booked it from the 25th and it was very
to the 27th.
Yes. No, I booked it from the 25th to the 26th, but because it was so disgusting, when I moved, it would give me a free extra day because she had no idea that the unit looked like...
Just a second. You can't... Listen to me. Shh, listen to me. You can't tell me what somebody else told you.
Well, it was
All
the
I
person
asked
on
you
the
was,
lease.
when you left, it doesn't matter. It's still hearsay.
Okay.
Like, he couldn't tell me what the building manager said, even in a text. True. Do you understand?
I have the pictures of the
Did you
building.
leave on the 27th or the 28th?
On the 27th, ma'am.
That's not correct,
Okay,
Your
that's
Honor.
even though you... Just a second. That's even though you just told me that you were told that you could have an extra day. You decided not to take the extra day.
Yes, I left on the 28th. I'm sorry about that. Yes, I left on the 28th. I apologize.
Okay. Now, do you have photographs to show me of the apartment, of the vandalism that you claim was committed by Miss Eves or someone in her party?
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see them.
Absolutely. So here is the first footage. This is a footage over here, as you can see, of the elevator. And once again, the damage wasn't done inside the actual unit, but it was done to the actual building. Therefore, obviously, ethically, I'm responsible.
Just for a second. Do you have any evidence of who did that to the building?
I do. I also have additional
I'd
evidence.
like to see it.
Absolutely.
Just a second.
Sure.
Let's go one at a time. I'd like to see the defendant with that damage to the building.
You got it. Can I show you a couple of more pictures before we play the video?
Sure.
Okay. So this is the actual front of the building. This is the main door for the entire building. It was completely taken off. You'll see the gentleman who, I don't know if it's her son in the video. As you can see, he does claim it's his mother, and you will hear that on the video as well. And this is the third damage. Whether he punched it or kicked it, it's the elevator button that's kicked in.
Got it.
Yes. Those are...
That's three items of damage.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now we have to connect that. Once you connect that to either the defendant or someone in her party, she's responsible to pay for it.
Absolutely.
You would agree with that, Miss Eves? Just a second. You would agree with that, Miss Eves?
No, because I did
Miss
not...
Eves, follow my question. If Mr. Hanna has proof to show me that clearly is damage to the building, if Mr. Hanna has proof that either you or someone in this group of young people that were there doing this video caused damage to the building, you understand that you would be responsible.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not responsible for someone who... We're both black. I, like I said, have an entertainment company. The person who did the damage...
No,
I was in the shower when all this went on.
It doesn't matter.
I don't even personally know.
It doesn't, just, Miss Eves, it's a legal question. If you brought people into the apartment that you signed a lease for 2 days and stayed an extra day, and one of those people caused damage to the building, whether you were there or not, you're responsible. Just as Mr. Hanna, who wasn't even in the building, is responsible to the building for that damage. That's his legal responsibility because he sublet it to you, and somebody, I shouldn't say, because he hasn't proven it to me, all I'm asking you is, I'm not even asking you, I'm telling you you're responsible. If one of those kids caused damage, there's no question about that. Now I'll see the video.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sleep. They get called police. Say, you know I'm tripping. You my mom. Oh God, I'm busting. Look at me. Yeah, DS1. Yeah.
Who is that? Who is that?
I don't personally have connection with that person. That is...
Your Honor, can you see the video, please?
Just a second. I just asked you who it was. Stop the video, please.
A music
I just asked you who
artist.
it was.
A music artist. Let me talk. Excuse
just
me.
Sit down. Oh. Sit.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, you're an exceptionally bright woman. I think we can decipher that this is...
No, just a second. Mr. Hanna, I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
Malik Hanna says his former short-term subletter, Isla Eves, owes for damages to his condo due to vandalism.
Now, I just asked you who it was.
She's asking. She stood up because I was in the shower, and she's a music artist.
No, but did you see that?
She's a music artist, and she knows him.
Did you see the video?
She knows him because she's a music artist. I told you I have an entertainment company.
Miss Eve, are you able to see the video? That's a yes or a no. Are you able to see the video?
I saw it.
Okay. All I asked you is the name of...
I don't know the person personally. I just said
You've never
that
seen him before?
I've seen
just a
him.
second.
I've seen him at a studio session
Did you?
before.
Okay. Did you see him, Miss Eves, on the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, or the 28th?
I seen him the night of the 27th when he was in the lobby waiting on a ride, he said. The next morning, he came to my door, banging on my door, and I'm like, who's at my door? She answered, my daughter answered the door, and I was in the shower. I said, who the heck is that banging on my door? And she goes, oh, the music artist that was at the studio the other night said that somebody stole his phone. He fell asleep waiting on his ride and missed his lift in the lobby. And the lady,
Miss Eves, what studio?
A recording studio.
Okay. Had he spent any time other than on the 28th at this apartment?
Yes, he did, because he came to somebody's party that was not my party. It was his tenant's party.
Do you have, Mr. Hanna, another apartment in that building?
I do not, Your Honor. It's the only one that I have. And I just want to clarify that Miss Eves is clearly lying, because you could also hear the audio footage, which we can play. And I quote, Your Honor, it says, let me take some down. Not going to let the police, excuse my French, with my kids and my family. She actually said that. We can clearly play that footage.
I
It's
did.
Very clear.
I did.
This is disrespectful. It is really wrong that you are lying.
I did, and it was in regards to my little small children, because they had no idea.
We have him on video.
I don't
We
care.
have him in
No,
the
I was
Just a
speaking
second.
of my children.
Just, Mr.
who were-
Hanna,
I was speaking of my
You
children.
can speak to the judge.
I was speaking of my children.
Miss Eves, look at me.
I was speaking of my children because it was scaring my kids. So I said, nobody's going to with my kids. That's true, in fact.
Okay. Shh.
I wasn't speaking on the young man who was going off.
Miss Eves, Miss Eves, I want you to pay attention to me. This young man is coming from the apartment that you were renting in this video. He is coming just as... If she's going to speak, put her out. If she's going to speak, put her out. She doesn't listen. Out. Out. If I need her, I'll call her back. My question to you is this young man, is he coming from the apartment that you rented from Mr. Hanna?
First of all, I'm not aware of that
That's
because
either
I
a
was
yes
in
or
the
no.
shower. I was in the shower.
No, but the apartment
okay,
looks
replay
like
the
the
video
hallway.
and I'll see. If
Good.
it's
Let's play
in
it
the
again.
area of my-
Let's play it again.
Sleep. They get called. Say, nigga, I'm tripping. You my phone. Oh God, I'm busting. Look at me. Yeah, DS1. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. D.ESSE.1. Oh God.
That wasn't my apartment. Excuse me. That's not my apartment. My apartment was on the side. That's not my
That's a
apartment.
blatant lie, Your Honor.
He
That
was
is a
coming
blatant
from the
lie, and I
lady-
can prove it.
He was coming from the lady's apartment.
Who are those other two people?
Those other two kids from Atlanta were telling him to just leave the building because my kids were freaking out and it was too much going on.
You can watch the footage
So
right
your
now.
two children, just a second.
Why are you recording me? I didn't do anything.
Your
I
Honor,
see that?
you're an exceptionally bright woman. I think we can decipher that this is...
No, let's just a second.
This is just crazy.
Mr. Hanna, I'm glad you came prepared. All I want to do is see the evidence. I don't want you to tell me how bright I am. Actually, I already know that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
All I have to do is find against her. But what, $1,800?
I understand.
You have a turn, and then I rule.
You got
That's
it.
the way the game is played.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Malik Hanna claims guests of his former subletter, Isla Eves, vandalized his condo.
Okay, the only thing that I have to see is put together. You don't have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this is someone connected with the defendant. There has to be more evidence than not that someone connected to your subtenant caused the damage to the building. And if there is more evidence than not, I'm satisfied. Now you can move over, and I'd like you to bring in Miss Eve's daughter.
You know you're lying, so cut it out.
Miss Eve, hey, Mr. Howard.
I'm sorry.
Just be quiet because you already called my phone harassing me.
Ma'am.
You already called.
If you
called
answer,
my phone
you see,
harassing.
it's very easy.
And I
It's
didn't do
very
anything.
easy with Miss Eves. All I have to do is find against her. But what I could do to you is dismiss your case, and then good luck getting the $1,800 from her.
I understand.
Do you understand?
I do.
If you
I'm
want to
sorry, Your
have a
Honor.
conversation with her, go outside and have a conversation. And here, I'm in charge, so you have a turn. You have a turn.
You got it, Judge.
All right. Now I'm going to question your daughter. Do you understand? You are not to say anything.
That's fine.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize.
Tell me
for
your first name.
Promise.
What is the name of the young man who broke the door?
I only know his artist name, Drip the Prince. That's all. That's all I know.
How did you get in touch with him?
The 27th, we went to the studio to record, and he happened to be in our session.
Is what you're telling me that the next time you saw him was on the 28th when he caused that damage to the building?
No, Your Honor. Listen, so we seen him, right? And he's like, where you guys staying? And we told him. So he's like, okay, my house is close by, and I'm going to get a lift from there, right? So then we was like, you can't come upstairs. You got to sit in the lobby because we're not going to break, like, any rules or anything. So he's like, okay, that's fine. And then after that, the next time I seen him is when he banged on the door and told us somebody stole his phone. That's what I was trying to tell you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
I want to know how he got back to your building. What brought him to your building?
We told him he can sit in the lobby and wait. He said he was locked out of his home.
Who told him that he could sit? Was it you? Your
Yeah.
mother?
It was
someone
me. My
else?
mom didn't
Did
know.
you have a key to get into the lobby, or is it a buzzer system? How do you get into the lobby?
It's a buzzer system. She had a key. I didn't.
Just a sec. Your mom had a key, so your mom opened the door, the front door.
No, someone else opened
In
it.
order to get into the building, who opened it?
Someone else opened it that was outside.
Okay, and then your mom went in?
She went in. I stayed
And
outside.
Who let the young man into the lobby?
That's why I waited outside for him.
Thank you very much. Now you can sit down. Now you can sit down. May I see the bills, please?
Absolutely,
For the damage?
Absolutely, Your Honor. This is the invoice from the building manager that was sent over to me, and all I'm asking is for that damage.
Go ahead. 1841, judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, this blended family mixed it up.
She hit me. Julie starts like punching me and attacking me on my face.
You had a girl fight.
They broke my nose and I'm not happy with that.
Judge Judy.
Ludicrous.
Judge Judy is wonderful, and I just wanted justice to be served at the end of the day.
It's not my child, and I don't care, and I'm not paying for it.
It's kind of sad that in the midst of all these awful times that someone like that could pull something like this off.
Living in peace was impossible.
I'm like, this is my house. I can do whatever I want.
It's not your house. It's your father's house.
She got up. I got up.
Then this blended family mixed it up.
Then she starts throwing punches. She hit me in my face. And then Julie starts like punching me and attacking me on my face. So there I am, trapped.
You had a girl fight.
Yeah, but they broke my nose and I'm not happy with that.
This is Judge Judy. 23-year-old Sylvia Marino is suing her stepsisters, 21-year-old Julie Munoz and 18-year-old Clara Munoz, for assaulting her and breaking her nose.
Judge, this is case number 39 on the calendar in the matter of Moreno versus Munoz. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Marino, how long has your father been living with the defendant's mother?
As soon as my mom got pregnant, that's when she got out of the house. So like a month later, that's now 6 years old. So I want to say 6 years old.
Okay. And is your father married to the defendant's mother?
No.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it also correct that your mom moved in about 6 years ago?
Yes.
Had you known the defendant's mom before they moved in?
Did I know her before she moved in? I'm not too sure. No, I don't think so.
Julie, before your mom moved in with Mr. Moreno, did you know him?
Yes.
How?
He started coming around the house probably 2 months within dating, so 11 years.
Okay, and of those 11 years, you've lived in the house with Mr. Moreno for 6 years?
No, I recently moved in the end of December of 2019.
Where were you living before?
At a friend's house.
And what about your sister?
She had lived with them for the amount of 6 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
So you lived with your mom when she moved in to Mr. Moreno's house?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you get along with his daughter?
I didn't really see her much around time when I moved in because she lives with her mother and I lived there. So I probably see them around like once every week.
So you've been constantly living there with your mom and with Mr. Moreno?
Yes.
And Miss Moreno, her mother?
Yes.
Is that right, Miss Moreno?
Yes.
Now, you came home to stay with your father when?
July of
Just
last year.
give me a month and year.
July of last year.
And at that time, Claire was living there?
Yes.
And Julie was not living there because Julie didn't come until December. Is that right, Julie?
Yes. Yeah, well, she was living there at one point, and then she got kicked out because she was offering her little sister, like, weed and bought her an edible or whatever. So that's why she got kicked out. So recently she moved back in, a little after I moved in. I want to say a month after.
Your
Well,
Honor,
sounds
that's
like
not
a
correct.
Lovely. Okay. So this is what the case is about. You and both Julie and Claire got into some sort of a kerfuffle. You got into a kerfuffle on the 30th of July, 2020. So you had been living there for about a year.
Yes.
I'd like you to tell me briefly your version of what happened, because you're suing them both for an assault and for injuries that you sustained. You sustained a broken nose. The defendants are suing you on a counterclaim for falsely filing a protective order on which there was a trial on the same incident as this. Is that right?
Correct.
And that trial resulted in the protective order that you filed against the two of them to exclude them from the house being dismissed.
Yeah, it got denied.
Judge heard, evidence heard from your boyfriend, and the judge dismissed the case.
Right.
So now you have 2 minutes to tell me what happened, and then I'm going to tell you what the law is. Go.
Okay, so recently we've been having like arguments and stuff, but the last one, that's where it got
No, I don't want to
intense.
hear recently. I just want you to stick to July 30th.
I basically got lowered out of my room. I got a text message from Clara saying that I had got a package, and so I responded saying thank you. And so when I got out, I asked her, I was like, hey.
Got out of your room?
Yes. And they were in the living room, both of them. So then I got out and I was like, hey, so where's the package? They're like, oh, there's no package. I just wanted to know you were at the house. And I'm like, well, I'm here. And then she's like, oh, good.
Who is she?
Clara.
Claire.
Yes. And then she starts assuming that I was stealing her wine and saying that I took it, whatever, and that I had to pay her back and that I owe her the bottle and whatever. And I was like, why I didn't take it. And then, so yeah, we started like arguing about that. And then Clara just goes, just go back to your room. Go back to your room, like, because she has some type of authority over me. And I'm like, this is my house. I can do whatever I want. And then she's like, hi, it's your house. Okay, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's my house. She starts laughing, starts acting ghetto. I didn't even want to go to the bathroom because I had to pass by them.
Look here. No, just a second. So she told you to go back to the room.
Mm-hmm. And then...
And you said, you can't tell me. I live here. Slowly. And don't look away from me. She told you to go back to the room. You said no.
Right.
And?
And then I was like, well, this is my house.
Try to use no like. Try not to use the word like.
Okay. So I was like, this is my house. I get to do whatever I want. So then I had to use a bathroom. So I had to pass by them to use a bathroom. So I just didn't want to be near her. Like, I just felt very, like, because she caught me off guard.
Just
like,
tell me.
And then so I went to the...
Tell me what happened. So you had to go to the bathroom, and?
And then so I went upstairs, and then... oh, no, I didn't go to the bathroom. So then I went to the living room, because that's where we were talking. And then she starts, like...
Well, you were in the living room already.
Yeah. And then she starts acting, like, all ghetto, saying... I was like, what is it with you guys? That you guys... Like, why is it that you guys are always messing with me? Like, you guys don't have a life? Like, can you guys just please leave me alone? And then Clara just goes like, what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Do something, do something. Like, and then so I was like, I'm not scared of you, I'm not scared of you. So then she starts throwing punches. So then I was defending myself by fighting back.
So just a second. So what you're telling me is Claire punched you?
Yes.
Okay, so she got close enough to you to punch you?
Yeah.
How many times did she punch you and where?
I'm not sure how many times. It was just like, you know, it was just all very fast and on my face. So then at that point, I was very like vulnerable. So Julie got up. She's like, oh, you're...
Just a second. Well, Julie said you're not going to hit my little sister. Had you hit her little sister?
Because I was like defending myself. So that's why she was saying that.
Okay, well, that's not a like. That's a yes. So
Yes.
She hit you and then you hit her.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then Julie came around me, like on my right side, and then she starts like punching me and attacking me on my face. So there I am, you know, trapped, and I was trying to get up, but I couldn't get up because I was basically trapped. I was
Trying
pinned down.
to get up, had you...
Because I was...
Just a second. Were you sitting down or did you fall down?
I was sitting down already.
It can't be both.
No, I was...
So you were sitting down talking to them?
Yes.
So when you were talking to the two of them, you were sitting down?
Yes.
Were they sitting down?
Yes.
So Claire had to have moved to punch you.
So she kind of like halfway got up, like halfway stood
okay.
up, like kind of like...
Enough. Yeah, I'm done. Okay, Claire.
Yes.
3 minutes. Your version of the events of the 30th of July. Go.
So I sent a message saying that she...
To get her out of the room because somebody took your wine.
Yes. So I sent her that message, and she was telling me that she didn't do it, and I was like, I knew for a fact that she was too, so I just said, forget it. Like, all I wanted was the gift back. I didn't care if she drank it. I didn't care if she did anything to it. I just wanted the bottle back itself because it was an expensive gift given to me by my sister. So I let it go, and then she confronted us again, and she sat down about like 2 feet away from me, and she was telling me, what is your problems? Like, you guys always talk to me, like, you guys have so much problems with us. And I immediately got very defensive, and I was like, we did nothing wrong. You're over here always causing problems in the house. So after we were arguing for a while, I told her to shut up. And, like, I didn't want to deal with her problems anymore. So I told her to shut up, go to her room, and she said, you can shut me up. You can't, I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to talk all I want. And I was like, just shut up. Like, and she's like, and I was like, all right. Like, you're not going to do anything about it? Like, you can shut up. And she got up after a while of us telling her to shut up. So I got up. She took a step towards me, and I took a step towards her. And I got in her face, telling her, like, to shut up, go to your room. Like, you... I don't know what your problem is. Over time, after the argument, she hit me in my face, and then I started hitting her back. And that was when my sister intervened.
Okay.
And at that point, my boyfriend had split us up. Yeah, my witness.
Good. Very good. Now, I don't need your witness because your witness was also there. You filed for a protective order against them. You wanted them excluded from the house, right?
Right. Because that's what I was told by the cops.
Okay, what you were told by the cop? It's not your house, it's your father's house.
Right.
You can leave, but which you did. And the girls, you're still living there, is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Your father gets to decide who lives in his house and who doesn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
girls aren't supposed to know about things like air conditioning and plumbing and heating. You know, that's usually not something girls know about. But I'll tell you what this girl knows about: wine. And I know about people who put air conditioning units in a wine cellar and pass it off as a refrigerant. Do you understand?
Sylvia Marino claims stepsisters Julie and Clara Munoz broke her nose during an assault. The defendants are countersuing for a false restraining order.
The judge heard your case for an order of protection. The order of protection, among other things, in addition to asking them to be removed from the house, which nobody's going to grant, threaten or harass you. The judge heard your evidence by the same burden of proof, if not higher, than the burden of proof that exists in small claims court. And after hearing all the evidence, just like I did, the judge in that case dismissed the case, having heard all of the facts. I can actually understand why. You had a girl fight, and that's what happened. And I assume that your father asked you to leave.
No, that is not correct.
When did you leave the house? This happened on July 30th. On what date?
I left the house on September 1st, 2nd.
So you lived there in the month of August?
Yes, because I had nowhere to go.
Where did you finally go to?
A room. I was looking, when it happened on July 31st, at that time I was just looking already at a different, room and stuff, because I just couldn't live there.
Okay.
It was just too much.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing for your father. Your father doesn't need aggravation from 3 girls who clearly don't get along. How old is your father?
Like 44,
Do you know?
45, around there, I believe.
Nice, caring. Okay, I've heard enough. Very nice. You have a nice place to live now? Are you happy in your room?
Well, yeah,
You're
but
happy not being near them?
Yeah, but they broke my nose, and I'm not happy with that.
Oh, no, I'm not happy with that either. You shouldn't have had a fight with them. I, like the judge who heard this case before, isn't sure who started it. That's why I'm doing the same. I'm doing the same. We're finished. We're done. Case is over. It's dismissed. So is your counterclaim. Goodbye.
This case is completed. You're excused.
I just feel like this whole thing is so unfair.
It started off with misunderstanding and it ended up leading to anger and
the owner of the house, which is my dad.
Anger that was already built up between her.
How's he gonna let this happen?
Between her and then us.
I'm their daughter. They broke my nose. It just can't stay like that.
And I think it was just the amount of time that it just blew up.
And he still chose our mom. He still chose them.
It's not that he chose us over his own daughter.
How can you forget about your daughter?
It's the fact that she came with a lot of problems.
I just wanted justice for myself because he didn't care. He didn't do anything.
I'm ready to put it way behind.
Nothing. I'm already out.
All parties in the matter of Bynum versus McCormick. Step to the podium, please.
Donald Bynum is suing contractor Gary McCormick for the return of a deposit on a wine room he never built.
Mr. Bynum, you had done previous business with Mr. McCormick as a contractor.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What kind of work had Mr. McCormick done for you previously?
To refinish the entire insides of the house, essentially, and make it ready.
And you were satisfied?
We were.
And then you decided in your own home to put in a wine cellar.
That's correct.
And that was in June of 2019.
Correct.
And according to what I put together from both the complaint and the answer, you contacted the defendant. He came over and took a look at it, gave you a price, and you gave him some money to start the project.
That is correct. We kind of designed it together, and then he asked for a deposit to order materials.
How much of a deposit did you give him?
$7,300.
And on what date did you give him the $7,300?
I had the check copy, if you'd like to see. It was September 9th of 2019.
Suffice it to say, you don't have a wine cellar.
I do not.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He doesn't have a paid receipt for starting the project or a contract. He has a check. What's the total job?
Are you crazy, Mr. McCormick? He has a check that he gave you as a deposit. What kind of stupid defense is that, sir?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Donald Bynum is suing contractor Gary McCormick for the return of a deposit on a wine room he never built.
September, October, November, December, January, and February. That's 6 months. You now have his $7,300.
Yes, I do.
Tell me what specifically you did to accomplish creating a wine cellar for the plaintiff.
I didn't get into the attic and look at what we really had to put in there, so I ordered a unit that was pretty standard to what I thought would fit for that room size. And it's a very custom application.
What date did you place an order for this unit?
End of September.
Was it the right unit?
No, I ended up canceling that unit.
Okay, because you made a mistake and it was the wrong unit.
Yes. So in October, November, I brought a friend over that does air conditioning, and I asked him if he could come over and take a look and get in the attic. I've had some previous health issues with some respiratory problems, so I don't get in attics anymore. He came over. The access was really, really tight. So we changed the unit configuration, and I kind of made it overkill because I knew I did not want a phone call after this was put in that it's not cooling to my satisfaction. So we went way over.
When was the last time, Mr. McCormick, you built or GC'd on a wine cellar?
Oh, it's probably
When was the last time?
Probably 10 years.
Yeah, I can tell that, sir, because you don't get somebody who does
Brought him in to
air conditioning.
to do
Air
the
conditioning
refrigerant.
people don't make wine cellars. Air conditioning people do air conditioning. There are specialists who do wine cellars. It's a different kind of refrigerant.
Completely different. Yes.
Yes, completely different. So, you know, girls aren't supposed to know about things like, you know, air conditioning and plumbing and heating. You know, that's usually not something girls know about. But I'll tell you what this girl knows about: wine. And I also know about wine cellars. And I know about people who put air conditioning units in a wine cellar and pass it off as a refrigerant. Do you understand?
I would have never done
So
that.
let's be clear. Let's be clear about that. So this is what you're going to have to prove to me, because now you have his money since September, and you made a mistake in September. You made a mistake in October. You maybe made a mistake in November. You had some health issues, also not his problem and not his fault. Right now, we're in March. He doesn't have a wine cellar, and I don't know how much of the $7,300 you gave him back. How much?
None.
So you had 6 months to get the ball rolling on this and did nothing, as far as I can tell.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. You the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, do you have a paid invoice for anything that you purchased for his wine cellar?
No, I do not.
Well, then what are your damages, sir?
My damages for the glass and the unit are $9,200.
Just to say, well, I'm asking you, show me that you paid for a unit. You knew today, you're an intelligent man. You knew you were coming to court today. So if you had paid for a unit, you would have brought me a paid bill. And case is over.
I don't have a
So
paid bill
if you
because
didn't bring it,
I work with these suppliers like I do myself. He doesn't have a paid receipt for starting the project or a contract on the job.
no, he has a check. Of course he has a...
He has a check. What's
Are
the
you
total?
crazy,
What's
Mr.
the total
McCormick?
job?
Are you crazy, Mr. McCormick? He has a check that he gave you as a deposit. What kind of stupid defense is that, sir? Now, if you extended yourself and your company to purchase something for his wine cellar prior to his saying, I don't want to do this because it's 6-8 months later and it's not going to get done, I certainly would have sympathy for that. And I would say, listen, if he's got this item that he paid for and that he's got sitting there, you have to go through with this because you don't have a contract that says time is of the essence. So I would assume, sir, that you're full of baloney. McCormick, just show me a paid bill.
I cannot show you.
All right, then you owe him $5,000 because it's the maximum of what I can give him here. We're done. Bad business, Mr. McCormick. Thank you.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, terror on two wheels?
Ooh, zipping right along. That's frightening. The scooter flipped in the air and hit his car.
Next Judge Judy.
I did give him a deadline, and then I said after that deadline, I said it's time to move on.
They were asking for the material or the money.
And I can get another contractor to come finish up, or if you can give me the parts.
So obviously they're backing out of the project.
And he just wouldn't respond.
It's a friendship too. I mean, all my customers are friends, so it's a tough deal.
Well, I did feel like we were friends, but this isn't how you treat a friend.
How fast does your scooter go?
38 miles an hour.
Terror on two wheels?
You could sort of scoot right down the middle lane. Ooh, zipping right along. That's frightening.
And the victims were piling up.
You on your electric scooter flipped in the air and hit his car.
This is Judge Judy. Motorist Linus Lee is suing Christopher Peterson for damaging his car when he hit it, riding his scooter.
Yeah, it's case number 36 on the calendar in the matter of Lee versus Peterson. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Lee, according to your complaint, in February of this year, on the 11th of February, in the evening at about 6 o'clock, you were driving your car. You were driving your car in San Francisco, and there was a lot of traffic. Is that right?
Correct.
Were you on your way home from work?
No, I was driving Uber.
Okay. So you were working, actually, that day. Did you have a passenger?
Yes, I do.
When this accident occurred, you had a passenger in your car?
Yes, I did.
What kind of car do you have, sir?
I 2007 Camry.
And how long have you been driving Uber?
A couple of years.
Do you do it every day, or do you have another job?
I do it every day.
Is that your sole source of income?
For now, yes.
Was it in February?
Yes.
Was it in January?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on the same date, the defendant was driving an electric scooter. According to you, there was an accident, and the defendant's scooter damaged your car.
Correct.
You want to be compensated not only for the damage, but you had to have the car fixed, and the car was income as a result of the accident. Defendant says it was somebody else's fault. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Peterson. Since there is no issue that on the date of this incident, your scooter collided with the plaintiff's car. I read your answer. So there's no issue with regard to that, correct?
Correct.
And there is also no issue that the plaintiff's car did not hit your scooter, but your scooter hit his car,
That
correct?
is correct. Yep, absolutely.
And there is also no issue that you saw damage to his car as a result of your scooter hitting his car.
Yes.
Your defense is that the accident was caused by a jaywalking pedestrian who you tried to avoid but were unable to avoid. You, on your electric scooter, collided with the pedestrian. As a result of that, you were knocked off the scooter. The scooter flipped in the air and hit his car. Is that what happened, Mr. Lee?
Correct.
So facts are relatively easy. Now all we have to put is flesh on the bones. How fast does your scooter go, Mr. Peterson?
It goes...
What is the top speed it goes? Top speed.
38 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast. Now, the traffic at the time of this incident, according to both of you, very slowly.
Yes.
And you were traveling in the opposite direction from the plaintiff's car.
That's correct.
And you were, according to your answer, frustrated with the stalled traffic, so decided to, what do they call it?
I believe it's called lane splitting.
Lane splitting. And lane splitting, I gather from where you were, was you went in between the cars going in the opposite direction. So you were going in the opposite direction from the plaintiff, but right next to the plaintiff, there were cars going in the opposite direction of him, and you were straddling the double yellow line.
That is
lane
correct.
Splitting.
Lane splitting. You got it.
And I would assume that when you were riding your scooter, there was a time when you ride your scooter in the same direction as traffic, which I assume since bicycles must do, so must scooters, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And that you were frustrated because they were going so slowly and certainly no threat to you because they weren't whizzing by, right?
That's right.
You could sort of scoot right down the middle lanes, right?
Safely scoot on the middle lanes. That's right.
Safe to say you were scooting. How fast would you estimate?
15 miles an hour.
Okay. Now, how fast do you think the pedestrian was walking who was jaywalking?
I would estimate that he was walking at about 2.5 miles an hour.
Okay. So if something is traveling 15 miles an hour, hits that's on a vehicle, because your scooter is a vehicle. It is not your feet. So if it's not your feet and if it has the capability of traveling up to 38 miles an hour, it's a vehicle. How much damage do you think you can do if you hit that pedestrian and made a different sort of a contact than you fortunately did with that pedestrian?
There definitely could be
Substantial.
damage. Yeah, it would be substantial. Yeah.
Definitely could be damage. I know what it's like when, we all come to our respective jobs with a certain amount of human experience in our minds. And some things are the law and some things are factual. So I'll get to the law in a minute. But right now it's factual. And I know if I'm walking in the street and bicyclists are supposed to be in the street rather than on the sidewalk, and they feel safer on the sidewalk rather than in the street with cars, they feel safer. But the pedestrians on the sidewalk, when they're walking with other people that are maybe walking and are zipping by at 15 miles an hour on the sidewalk, that's frightening.
Indeed.
Indeed, indeed, it is. So when you decided to take a risk and lane split, you had to be cautious enough to anticipate that someone, a child, a dog, might dart out into traffic, and we're talking about nighttime, right? Might dart out into traffic, and you traveling at 15 miles an hour or better could have caused some serious injury, just as somebody driving a car has to anticipate that, especially if they're taking a shortcut, that something that they didn't anticipate would happen. So what you want me to say is the pedestrian caused the accident, not me. Right? That's what you want me to say. And therefore, Mr. Lee should have found the pedestrian that caused the accident and sued him. That's what you want me to say.
That's correct.
And what I'm saying to you is, since you were also in a position to speak to the pedestrian, right? That's what you say in your answer, right? Well, that's a yes or a no. You say in your answer you spoke to the pedestrian because you got knocked off and he got knocked off. You both spoke to each other and made sure that you were...
The first thing I said is, are you okay?
Right. Because if he wasn't okay, I guarantee you he would sue you. He wouldn't sue Mr. Lee. He would sue you because you chose to lane split, go 15 miles an hour where he was not anticipating, or better, your scooter was going to be lane splitting. The pedestrian saw the traffic was at a standstill and figured it was okay to cross the street. Okay? So this is what you can do. Since I assume you didn't get the name and address of the pedestrian, did you?
No.
Well, that's your fault. Because what you could have done if Mr. Lee sues you because it's your scooter, the pedestrian didn't hit his car, your scooter hit his car. That we all agree on. So if Mr. Lee sues you, you have the right under the law to implead the pedestrian and say, listen, if I'm responsible to Mr. Lee because my scooter was the vehicle that caused damage to his car, I'm going to bring into this case the pedestrian because it was really his fault. Because if I have to pay Mr. Lee, the pedestrian has to pay me. Why is that Mr. Lee's obligation to do? That's your obligation to do. You exchanged information with him, correct? That's how you're here.
Correct. I anticipated being a witness to this. I did not anticipate him coming after me.
Well, yeah, just the same way, Miss Tate, that somebody might be walking in between cars in dead-stop traffic at 6 o'clock at night when it was dark and decided to lane split, you anticipated wrong, that he was going to sue the pedestrian and not the person whose vehicle struck his. Okay, can I see pictures of your car, sir?
Yes. I have a video, too.
I'd like to see it. How did you get a video?
I got a dash cam.
Oh, you have a dash cam?
Correct.
Ooh, zipping right along. Who were you scootering with, sir?
I was scootering with myself and my pool stick.
Yourself and your pool stick?
Yeah.
Would you play that again? There was nobody else there? I thought that I saw two people. Maybe I missed it. Go ahead. Oh, no, it was... I see what it was. It was a reflection from the other car. Yes, you were actually zipping right along. Can I see the damage to your car, sir, which he is responsible for?
This is the first one.
I see one. You say you have two?
I got three.
I'd like to see all three.
These are the scratches from the scooter.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. This is damage
Oh,
here.
well, that one's substantial.
Correct.
That one's substantial. Did you have it fixed?
Not yet.
Can I see the estimates to fix it, please?
Yes. This is the first
Thank you.
page. The second page.
I just want to see the total. Okay. Anything else?
Yes. This is the third page.
Yeah, you're going a little overboard, Mr. Lee. Now, are you still driving Uber or are you doing anything else, sir?
I'm still driving Uber, but since I spoken to, before I came here, I spoken to a repairer, and they can do it for 5 days. So this is not the exact amount that I'm suing for. Now it's reduced.
Mr. Lee, that's not my question to you. I asked you, do you have another job other than Uber?
I don't.
Now?
No.
Okay. Now, since this incident happened, Mr. Lee, which was in February, and you were driving your 13-year-old Camry.
Yes.
How much money did you make every day since February?
Average every day I make about $250 to $300. That is I gross. Sometimes a little bit over $300.
And you were able to make $250 or $300 a day despite your scratched car.
Yes.
Yes, right?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
she came home from school while the plaintiff was living there. And so you and your daughter were sleeping in the living room.
We were sleeping in our dining room.
Dining room, living room, whatever it was. It was not the way it was when Miss Barnett came there.
motorist Linus Lee claims Christopher Peterson was splitting lanes on his scooter when he ran into his car.
Mr. Lee, it looks to me as if the average price of a 2003 Camry like yours is about $3,500. I don't know how much mileage you have on your car, but I think it would probably be a mistake to spend more than $2,000 to fix it. I certainly wouldn't spend $4,000 to fix a car that you could buy for $3,500. And I think that if you took this car in to have the scratches taken out, which are the first two pictures, and the other one, you could probably do that in 2 days. Whether you could or whether you could not, I'm awarding you $2,500. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This case is concluded.
You know, safely lane splitting. I'm a big fan of micro-mobility.
I waited for him to contact me for 14 days, but he did not, so I sued him.
And this guy came out of, nowhere, slammed on the brakes.
It's his business, none of my business.
Tried to minimize all damage, so made sure he was okay right away. It was just an unfortunate event.
Yes, I gotta get my car fixed.
I believe that all of the blame fundamentally lies with the jaywalking pedestrian.
All parties in the matter of Barnett versus Brown. Step to the podium, please.
Ted Barnett and his daughter, 21-year-old Claire, are suing Claire's former roommate, Lisa Brown, for the return of rent and a security deposit.
Mr. Barnett, this is your daughter, and she decided to transfer schools. She's a full-time student. That was in December of last year. She needed a place to stay, and I assume you answered an ad on the internet or through a realtor because Miss Brown was renting a room in her home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
The cost of the room was $1,300 a month. I assumed that Miss Barnett, you had kitchen privileges and all the other things that go with having a room in a house. How large a house was it?
I'm not sure exactly the square footage, but it was a one-bedroom apartment.
So where did Miss Brown sleep?
She slept in a bed in the living room.
Miss Brown, had you used the bedroom as your bedroom prior to Miss Barnett moving in?
Yes, I did. And my apartment is pretty large, so I was able to partition off.
No, don't tell me it's pretty large. I asked you a specific question. Did you, in fact, use the bedroom before you rented the room to Miss Barnett?
Yes.
And before you rented the room to Miss Barnett, who lived with you?
My daughter lived with me I'm going to say when I first signed the lease, she lived with me.
She rented just 1 second. Let's go back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your daughter came home from school and stayed.
And brought a dog.
She studied remotely.
They knew the dog was there.
Just a second. Mr. Barnett, I didn't ask you anything. And if you're winning, I would tell you it's a good time to keep your mouth shut.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ted Barnett and his daughter Claire say Claire's former roommate, Lisa Brown, is withholding her security deposit. Lisa is countersuing for unpaid rent.
Now, Miss Barnett saw the room in December, signed a lease. In December, where was your daughter living?
She was in East.
Prior to December of 2019, when did your daughter live with you, if she ever did?
She lived with me for the month of May until August of 2019.
So from May until August?
Yes.
And prior to May, she didn't live with you?
No, prior to May, she did not live with me.
She lived with you for she was what?
She's a student at San Francisco State.
Okay. So she was a student and she lived with you during the summer.
Yes.
And then she went back to school. So you moved in, signed a lease, and it's not a very difficult case. As the world knows, in February, March of this year, we have a global pandemic, and most students were learning remotely by March. Correct, Ms. Barnett?
Correct.
And that includes your daughter.
Correct.
Because she came home from school in December while the plaintiff was living there, or she came home as a result of the pandemic and stayed.
She did stay.
She stayed.
Yes.
And so the two of you now, you and your daughter, were sleeping in the living room.
We were sleeping in our dining room.
Dining room, living room, whatever it was. It was not the way it was when Miss Barnett came there.
Yes.
Now, how many bathrooms are there in the house, Miss Barnett?
There's one bathroom.
Okay, you left to move back home. There is no question in my mind that either you or you and your daughter moved back to the bedroom. You didn't get another boarder in the house.
Well, due to the COVID situation.
You want your security deposit back.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what the case is about. Now, your property was there until the end of March 22nd. So you wanted a pro-rata part of your rent for March. That you can't get. But unless you're prepared to tell me that she damaged something in the house, she gets her security deposit back, Miss Brown. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor. There was actually in the lease that she signed, there was a section, and it's there, that says that if the lease was broken prior to a natural cause, that there was a fee of $1,300 that would be charged.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question. It's very simple.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
When Miss Barnett rented the house, the room in your house with one bathroom, the intention was, and your intention was, that two people would be using that bathroom, two people would be using the kitchen, two people, not three. As a result of the pandemic, things changed. And one of the things that's changed is 1/3 of the kitchen was now being used by your daughter. All consequences as unintended consequences of the pandemic. Your daughter came home from school and stayed.
And brought a dog.
She studied remotely.
They knew the dog was there.
Just a second. Mr. Barnett, I didn't ask you anything. And if you're winning, I would tell you it's a good time to keep your mouth shut.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,300.
Ma'am, I have a
Thank you.
countersuit as well.
It's dismissed. I just told you. It's dismissed. You have to return her security deposit. Is your daughter still living home?
Well, she was there
Is
at
your
home.
daughter? My question is a
Yes.
simple one. Is your daughter still living home?
Yes.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, did she take the money and run?
You did not rebuild the house. Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
I have all the answers.
Next Judge Judy.
I actually rented the room, and she had full access to the room.
You know, me and Lisa and her daughter, we all had a very pleasant time living together.
And my daughter was not there and was not supposed to be there. Something happened. She had to come home.
So no animosity towards either of them. You know, what's fair is fair.
As well as her access to the apartment.
So I'm also glad that Judge Judy saw.
No, it's just me and my daughter due to COVID.
Yeah, just ready to get back into school.
She asked for time to pay.
You tell the stranger, I only have $1,000 to give you down. Can I make payments on the other $2,000?
But time ran out.
You took the car. You still have the car. And you didn't pay her the balance.
No, ma'am, I did not.
So give her the car back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
This is Judge Judy. Carol Althoff is suing Tracy Johnson for the unpaid balance on a car she sold her.
Judge, this is case number 16 on the calendar in the matter of Althoff versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in. Sir, you may be seated.
Miss Althoff, you sold a car to the defendant. What kind of car was it that you sold?
It's a 2008 Volkswagen Jetta.
It didn't belong to you. It belonged to one of your kids.
Yes, it was my daughter's car. I was just the co-owner on the title.
How did you find the car?
I found the car through something called Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. And correct with the plaintiff, and the price was $3,000. Is that right?
Yes.
So, Miss Johnson, this is your problem. You bought a 12-year-old car for an agreed price of $3,000. Then you tell this perfect stranger, I only have $1,000 to give you down. Can I make payments on the other $2,000? She agreed. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
You took the car. You still have the car.
Yes.
And you didn't pay her the balance of $2,000.
No, ma'am, I did not. There's a reason why I did not, though.
Why did you think? Yeah, you said you spent a lot of money on it and you couldn't get it smogged. Is that right?
That is correct.
So give her the car back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I tried to give her the car back. I tried to give Lauren, the person who I was dealing with, her daughter, the car back. The second day that I had it, I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no. Her father came to my door, and I asked him if he would take the car back, and he said no.
Just a second. All right, listen to me. They may have said no. Now we're in court. Okay. And now I'm telling you, you can't keep the car. You have to give it back to her. They'll give you back your $1,000. They'll sell it to somebody else.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
Listen, I'm here to make things quick and easy. She can't have the car and not pay for it. She doesn't want the car, clearly. Is that right?
I can't use the car.
You clearly don't want the car. And some money into the car, brakes, and, well, that's her problem. I don't care about that. Then she was silly enough to do that before she had the whole thing tested and everything else. That's her problem. So you're getting back your car with new brakes. And what else did you do to the car?
I had the two back tires changed.
And you have 2 new tires.
I know my daughter doesn't want the car back.
I don't care. She couldn't get the car smogged. That's what she says.
Well, the story with the smogging...
And you live in the state of California.
Yes, we do.
You can't sell a car in the state of California that can't be smogged.
What my daughter had arranged with her...
I don't care.
And, well,
it doesn't matter to me.
Well, she had arranged with the defendant that she had told her, I haven't had the car smogged, and I need to get it smogged. And this is the reason why, was because she had had some work done on the car, and when the car, they took it to be smogged, they said it wasn't ready, because when you unplug the battery, you have to wait with this particular car.
Listen, you're not paying attention to me, and I'm not hearing you. Now, you are A, not a mechanic. B, you can't tell me what she arranged with your daughter. That's hearsay. C, I'm here to resolve this matter. You're getting back a better car than you sold to her a couple of months ago. I assume you didn't take any cross-country trips because you couldn't drive the car. Is that correct?
I could not drive it because I couldn't register it.
Do you have the title to the car?
Car, Judge.
Is it registered in your name?
No, it is not.
Because she did not go register it.
In whose name? Shh. Hey, listen to me. If you speak out again, I'm going to just dismiss your case. Do you understand that?
Yes,
This is not a party that we're at. In whose name is the car registered?
I believe it's Lauren's.
You never took it to DMV?
No, I didn't.
To change the title?
No, I went to DMV, but they told me that I couldn't register it because it didn't pass smog. It needed a smog certificate. So when I went to the smog place, it can't pass smog.
So the only person who's on the title is her daughter? And you?
I'm not sure.
And her?
And her, I think so. I think.
But you're not on the title?
No.
Very good.
Your Honor,
what?
May my witness testify to something?
You're getting the car back. That's it. You're getting the car back. And she gets the money that she put in. She paid you how much? $1,000?
Yes.
Right. That's what she gets back. Then she'll go buy another car, and you'll find somebody else to sell this to, understanding that it did not pass smog twice. And if there are any specific directions that you need to tell somebody that you have to dance around it, click your heels 3 times, and say, I want to go to Oz before you try to re-smog it, you'll give them those instructions. Right now, she's giving you back the car. She gets a $1,000 deposit back. You're getting a car with 2 new tires and new brakes. Goodbye. Be happy. Have a happy...
Parties are excused.
My daughter trusted somebody who said that they would make the payments.
I wanted the car when I wanted the car, and they should have had it smogged.
They had worked out the deal with what was going to go on with the smogging.
And I knew that, and I took the car anyways.
The lady canceled numerous times. My daughter was trying to work with her.
Don't have a friend test drive it for you, for starters.
And the lady wanted the car then.
And make sure that it's smogged.
And my daughter trusted her, and she took advantage of her.
All parties in the matter of Pesanowski versus Morgan. Step to the podium, please.
Kendra Pesanowski is suing her former friend, Megan Morgan, for vet bills regarding the euthanizing of a dog.
Miss Pesanowski, there is no way that this is a happy case. You had 3 small chihuahuas.
Yes.
You were moving from one apartment to another, and I must assume from the complaint that you filed, you could only take 2 of them with you.
Correct.
The oldest of those dogs was quite senior. How old?
She was 15.
And how old were the others?
They were 5 and 10.
So this is what happened. You had to make a difficult decision, either moving And was it part of your lease that you could only have 2 dogs?
Yes.
And you made the decision that you would part with the... You asked her if she could take the 15-year-old.
Yes.
You do understand that that's sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do, to take an old dog, which is going to require care. The dog is quite senior. That's a sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do.
Yes.
But you did it anyway. And the defendant, who has dogs, how many dogs do you have?
I currently have 5 Chihuahuas.
She said she would take, is it a boy or a girl that she took?
It was a girl, and she happily said she would take her. And the reason why I was going to...
Well, let me explain something to you. You asked her to do you a favor. So it's not that somebody's happy to take a 15-year-old dog. Someone says, I will do it because the alternatives sound awful. So you brought your older little girl to her house, and you gave her the dog.
Yes, she happily took the dog, and...
No, don't tell me happily. You gave her the dog. That's
Yes, ma'am.
either yes or a no.
Yes, ma'am.
You gave her the dog. So now it's her dog.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant arrived at my house later that evening on the 28th of February. She stated that she couldn't keep the dog. I graciously accepted taking on the responsibility.
Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Morgan, she had called you first. She did
me via text message on Messenger through Facebook.
Okay. Do you have those messages with you?
I do have the messages with me.
Would you read them to me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Hey girl, long time no talk to. I hope you're well and life's treating you great. I'm reaching out to you because I'm having to make the hardest decision of my life. I have to move to a place that I've lived for the past 2 years by March 1st. I found a place at last minute that will take me with my horrible credit, but absolutely not 3 dogs. I thought long and hard, and I feel Tater would be the best to be put in a retirement home setting for senior dogs. But no one is working with me with Tater. She's mostly deaf and has some cataracts, but otherwise is very healthy. Well, shoot me a call. My number is, this is my response. So you're looking for a home for just Tater? Yeah, I'll take her. I mean, I already have 5, but what's 1 more? Oh my God, you're amazing. Call me. I'm in Ramona at the moment. I'll call you when I'm back in Lakeside. Okay, thank you, Megan. I can finally stop crying. That was on February 26th at 9:54 in the morning.
When did you drop the dog off? On the 26th, at what time?
At around noon, she came to my home.
Okay, and then tell me what happened to the dog.
She left the dog in my possession. Everything went great. She was playing around with my kids.
How many children do you have?
I have 2, a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. I went to bed that night. Tater was fine. She was actually sleeping in my bedroom on my floor. My dogs free roam in my house, so it wasn't an issue. She did suffer from incontinence, so it was kind of an issue with my husband, and I told him that I would address it at a later date, that I would get her a crate or something to have her own provisions for that dog. The next morning, I got up at 5 a.m. I let all my dogs out in my secured backyard, and by 7 a.m. when I got up to get my kids ready for school, I received a text message from my neighbor stating that there was a dog whining in my backyard and she looked hurt. When I went outside to look for said dog, she was sitting by my back gate and she had a laceration to her right shoulder. The moment that I had found the dog in that state, I contacted Kendra and said that Tater had been hurt, that she's at my house, and that I needed her to come down and get her because I had to get, at this time, this is before COVID, my 2 small children had to be at school by 8 o'clock. I set Tater up in my driveway in an X pen, what we use in rescues. I had her bed out there with her and everything. Kendra arrived and picked up Tater and then proceeded to take her to Animal Medical Center in El Cajon due to the laceration on her right shoulder.
So let me understand this, Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
You called the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
And take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, right now, Miss Morgan, you do understand that the law says that you are the dog's owner.
Okay. I do not know the laws by
time-
heart, so I do not know that.
Well, I'll tell you. When she asked you to take the dog, and you agreed to take the dog, and she brought the dog to you and relinquished control of the dog to you, she relinquished any interest that she had in the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
To you. So when you called her and asked her to come and get the dog and take the dog to the vet, you were asking her to come and take your dog to the vet. That's the law. I know it may sound ridiculous to you because you had had the dog less than 24 hours, but it's still your dog, and you were asking the former dog's owner to take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she, therefore, under those circumstances, as silly as it may sound to a layperson, she was acting as your agent in taking the dog to the vet. So what she's asking for is for you to pay for the dog's vet bill.
Yes, ma'am, and I understand that. She did not request me to pay for the vet bill. I would have gladly paid for the vet bill. I have a stack of bills sitting in front of me that shows that I am a responsible pet owner, that I have paid for...
No. So, Miss Morgan, what did she ask you for?
In a moment.
I did try to call her so many times, and she blocked me.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about, do you have any evidence that on the 27th, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Miss Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
Kendra Pesanowski claims former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
So, Miss Morgan, what did she ask you for?
She didn't ask me. So after she retrieved Tater, she took her to AMC Vet, and she took it upon herself to have the dog euthanized. She didn't seek treatment for the dog. I was then threatened. I had to block her on Facebook.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
You had the dog euthanized because?
They wanted to do surgery, and it was going to be $3,000. And I did not have the money, and they also said with the age that she was at, she might not survive.
Did you tell?
I could not get a hold of Miss Megan.
Well, I would like you to show me on your phone on the 27th of February, sometime early in the morning, that you tried to contact her so that the owner of the dog, as to whether or not the dog should have surgery or should be euthanized. Because if you made that decision by yourself, madam, then you'll pay your own vet bill. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Preliminarily, you gave the dog to the defendant. She asked you, acting as her agent, to pick up the dog to take it to be treated at the vet. You just told me that you made a decision when you took the dog to the vet because of the dog's age and the fact that you didn't have money for surgery to have the dog euthanized. And I have to see that you made efforts to contact the dog's owner because, you know, that doesn't have to be done in a moment. That could be done in an hour or two in the time that you possibly could reach her. Do you have any evidence that on the 27th in the morning, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Miss Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
I would have to pull it up, so I do not have...
I have time. If you say you tried to call, don't waste my time. So if you have proof that you tried to call her from the vet, and there's a time frame when you would be at the vet on that morning so that the owner of the dog could make a decision as to whether she wanted to spend the money for surgery or not, I'll read that. If you made the decision, then you pay for the vet bill yourself. And if the vet bill was $700, then that's your responsibility.
I didn't. She blocked me and would not answer my phone calls.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about calling her from the vet in the morning of the 27th. Did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog, I received a phone call from Animal Control stating that I was neglectful and she was making up these stories so that they would come and investigate me.
All right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kendra Pesanowski claims former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
Now, did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
I did. I need to look and find the proof. I need
to... Go.
May I state something while she looks for the proof?
Phone.
May I state something
Sure.
while she looks on the proof? Okay,
Yes.
So after she retrieved the dog, I had gotten the text message later on that evening that she had indeed put the dog down.
Was that the first time you heard
Yes,
from
ma'am.
her?
That was the first time that I heard from her The text
Could
message.
you bring that up?
I would love to. I have a new cell phone. I don't have any of my text messages from my prior phone. My
message from
that was
prior.
via Messenger off Facebook. So logging into my Facebook is one thing. Getting my actual text messages from my prior cell phone is another. So after the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog because she had to have her euthanized, I received a phone call from animal control stating that there was allegations that I was neglectful and that I had more animals than I was allotted to have on my property, and she was making up these stories so that they would come and investigate me.
All right.
Upon talking to them is when animal control had informed me where the dog was euthanized.
Don't tell me. Don't
Yes, ma'am.
tell me what anybody told you. She had the dog euthanized. She said she did.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I said, first off, the vet has never even heard of any animal ever leaving a dog with these significant injuries in a cage in the cold outside by their driveway, complete neglect. Second, for you to have said you couldn't take her to the vet because yours was closed.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me. I asked you for a simple thing, not that you're blaming her sometime later. I asked you to find a phone call that you tried to make to her from the vet. Look. It's very unfortunate what happened to your dog. You called the defendant because you couldn't take the dog with you, or oldest one. She took the dog. You brought the dog there. There is absolutely no evidence, and you don't have any evidence, and I certainly don't believe that the defendant did anything to harm your dog. She took your dog in along with her other dogs. By the way, did you tell her that your dog was incontinent?
No, she was not incontinent, ma'am.
When you called her, okay.
I would not rehome a dog that was incontinent.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, do you have any proof that you called her from the vet so that she could make a decision as to whether, because she's now the dog's owner, that she could make the decision about whether to euthanize the dog or to have surgery?
If I had been smart and pulled up the phone records, I would have evidence.
Okay, but you don't.
I don't.
So it's very unfortunate that this dog ended its long life that way. It's always said we can't always pick the way we or our pets go. So your vet bill was $700. Is that what it was?
It was $342.
Yeah, you take care of it yourself. You made the decision on how to treat the dog. You take it.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
Judge Judy.
I don't know why she would put the dog, a Chihuahua, in a cage in the driveway.
Any dog rescue uses what they call X pins.
When I have an hour drive to go pick her up, and she was still in the cage, bleeding.
The dog was not in a confined space. She had a bed. She had a blanket.
I feel like it's my fault that the dog is dead.
A sad story that the dog had to perish. If she would have actually called me from the vet, we could have come to agreeance and had Tater still here with us today.
You had a house that burned down.
A tragic fire had a silver lining.
How much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
that's a question. I expect an answer.
But did she take the money and run?
You did not rebuild the house. I have all the answers.
This is Judge Judy. Soraya Cassis is suing her former contractor, Tony Duarte, for failing to perform services on her home after it had burned down.
Now it's case number 45 on the calendar in the matter of Cassis versus Duarte. Parties have been sworn in.
Ms. Cassis, according to your complaint, you had a house that burned down and you hired the defendant to do some demolition work to finish demolishing the house and to take away the debris. You claim that you made payments to him and he didn't fulfill his obligation. That's what the case is about. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're suing him for $5,000 for an unfinished project.
Well, I basically made a claim against his bond company, And my award for the bond company.
No, just.
Oh, we're not talking.
You're suing him today for $5,000. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, so I have a few preliminary questions for you.
Okay.
What was the address of the house that burned down?
Fran Street.
When did you buy Fran Street?
2007.
How much did you pay for the house in 2007?
I only paid 95,000, 97.
Roughly. How much did you pay for the house? Just a second. In 2005, would it have been closer to 2005 when you purchased Fran Street?
Possibly, and it was
Fran Street.
Yes. I'm sorry if I said the wrong number.
That's correct. And that house was purchased for approximately $88,000. Is that right?
No, I had two mortgages. The $88,000 was one mortgage, and I had a second mortgage.
And what was the other mortgage?
Yeah, I don't.
And to whom?
It started out with Chase Bank, but they sold in the secondary mortgage market like 3 times.
Who owned the mortgage on the house?
I did. May I say something?
No, I want you to.
Okay.
I asked you a simple question.
Okay.
And I want you to understand, Ms. Cassis, that I have all the answers.
Okay.
You bought the house that we're talking about on Fran Street that burned down. How much did you pay for it when you purchased it? That's a simple
Your
question.
Honor,
I have homes
financing.
over the years, and
I don't remember exactly. All I remember is that it was creative financing. Whatever was on paper, they gave me cash back so I could fix up the house. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but like I thought it was $97,000.
I don't want $1,000. How much was it? You lived there.
I don't remember if it was $95,000 or $97,000. I don't remember.
Okay, 95. Shh, just a second. 95.
If you see the $88,000, that's the first mortgage. There was creative financing. They gave me back money. So when that's why I.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Now, you insured the house for $230,000. When? In what year?
Okay.
Take a breath before you answer my question.
Okay.
You insured the house for $230,000 when?
I insured the
what
house
year?
Every year. Every year I would insure it for the maximum amount to rebuild because I knew that I had to do that because building was expensive. So every single year I had maximum insurance on it.
Insurance. Okay, here we go. So the maximum insurance was $230,000. Your house burned down in what month and year?
November of 2017.
And at that time, the insurance company, according to you, was going to give you a payout of $230,000 to replace the house. That's according to your statement that you signed.
Your Honor, it was $230,000 because I had cost $230,000 at the end of the year. One of them is from Doherty, and I have 2 other ones.
Just a second. I'm not finished questioning you yet. Don't get beyond my questions.
Sorry.
So the house that you paid under $100,000 for, you were now getting from the insurance company $230,000. Now you had an electrical fire.
Yes, ma'am, but they were.
That's what you say here.
They were not getting.
That's what you say here.
Yes, there was electrical fire. The fireman said that on the report. Yes.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said you had an electrical fire.
According to the.
Where are you currently? I'm speaking. Where are you currently living?
I bought a house in California City.
You bought a house in California City, and the address of the address of that house is 21. Is that right?
Yes.
Who owns that house?
I own it, but I just recently put it in a trust, for my daughters, but I don't know if it's been recorded yet.
How much did you pay for that house?
I got it. Basically, it's not a house. It's a town. They're attached together. So I paid.
You paid
$115.
$115. That is correct. Now, who is Mark Anthony?
That I gave money to help him open up his deli. That I thought that was going to be my business. We had an agreement. After I bought the house, I invested in this deli, but he breached contract also.
So you are at the same time suing Mr. in another place.
I am, yes.
Yes.
I've already sued him, actually.
Okay. Now, how much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
that's a question. I expect an answer.
There's
a figure, a number.
Your Honor.
A number.
A
number.
It's replacement costs and actual value costs. So when they settle.
No, I asked you a question.
Okay.
I expect a numerical answer. How much did the insurance company pay you for the house?
I received
that had an electrical fire.
I received $90,000 for property that was burnt. $90,000, and I received only.
That's not all you received.
Wait, I'm not done.
Come on.
I also received 120. I think it was 120,000 for a dwelling. I think. And then I had to pay off my mortgage, which left me with $70,000 to buy a new house.
Just a figure. How much did you receive from the insurance company for the house?
For the house, $120,000 because I did not build.
And for the contents?
$90,000. $90,000.
How much did Mr. Duarte's bond company pay you?
The award or what they ended up paying me?
The award.
They awarded me $13,000, and I don't recall the rest of $13,000.
Did you sue the bond company?
I made a claim with the bond company.
My question, Ms. Cassini, you made a claim with the bond company.
Yes, I did.
For how much? His bond company. For how much?
I made the claim. I requested the full $15,000, but
you requested $15,000 from his bond company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how much did his bond company give you?
They ended up giving me only $4,800.
Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
Do you get where I'm going?
No, Your Honor. I wanted to build my house. I have proof of a.
So what?
May I show you some situations whenever you're ready? I have all the proof in the world to show you the way this incident turned out.
Listen, according to Duarte, according to your signed complaint, $4,500 in advance. You said he did not complete the work. He did not demolish, nor did he haul away the stuff that he was supposed to haul away so that you could rebuild the house. That's what this is about. Well, his bond company, probably with his consent, paid you $4,800. You did not rebuild, I'm speaking, you did not rebuild the house. You took the $230,000 that you got from the insurance company for this electrical fire.
No, I didn't, ma'am.
You purchased another property.
No.
I'm just
I did not receive $230,000.
What you just told me.
No, I never received $230,000 from the insurance company.
Well, you just told me you received $120 and $90.
You know, Your Honor.
That's what you told me.
Your Honor, let me tell you something. They didn't just give me that money. I had to work to protect myself because of what he did to me, okay? Now, if you would just let me speak and prove what really happened, I wanted my house to be rebuilt. A $250,000 house is much better than going into a condo in California City, okay? So, I mean, obviously I wanted to build. I have, through emails, been back and forth with him for 12 months, 10 months. My attorney write him a letter. I have all of the proof right here. And
I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Ms. Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention. This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
And later today.
Show me pictures of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Soraya Cassis says her former contractor, Tony Duarte, never finished the demolition of her home after it had burned down.
Now, you paid him $4,800.
And he didn't.
You got $4,800.
No, because
from the bond company.
No, because now the demolition costs $8,000. I have the estimates.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention.
Yes.
This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
And for the whole year, I paid $3,000 of fence fence rental. I have had to protect. Okay, and the new estimate to do demo is $8,000. So that's where they came in. They did their investigation on everything I gave them, and I have the fence receipt.
How much money did you get from the insurance company?
$4,800
for your house.
But $4,800.
No,
but
that's his bond company. How much did you get from the insurance company for your house that burned down?
$120,000, but I had to pay a mortgage off with it. They didn't give me the check. They gave the check to my mortgage company.
How much were you left with that enabled you to buy the house where you...
$70,000.
After they paid off the mortgage.
Yes.
And you used that as a down payment to buy another place to live.
No, I actually paid cash for the place that I live because I...
Okay, we're done here. Your Honor, you paid him $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800. We're done.
Can I
Case
please...
is over. Period.
Your Honor.
We're done. I hope there are people. I hope there are people watching this case. We're done.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to add, sir?
I do. That's what I put up with for months, and it was never a demo. That's the part that upset me the most. Is that with my bond company, they would not accept any of my documented. I took screenshots of my phone where we had text messaging back and forth. I have these. And dispose of the trash for $4,500. That's all I was doing. Someplace along the line, I guess her insurance company wanted it demoed. I said, well, to demo it, you need to get an engineer out there. We got to do. I told her all this stuff. I sent her emails. She ignored most of it. See,
we're done.
Parties are excused.
I just wanted to get rid of this person. This has been a nightmare for me. She did send documents to the insurance company saying that I was her contractor. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just glad it's over.
Parties in the matter of Reyes Ruiz versus Linares. Step to the podium, please.
Jorge Reyes Ruiz is suing body shop owner Jorge Linares for improperly fixing his car after an accident.
Mr. Ruiz, the defendant is a mechanic, and you were in an automobile accident, and you were hit from behind.
Correct.
So the accident was clearly the fault of the other driver.
Correct.
Who had insurance.
Yes.
And that happened in what month and year, Mr. Ruiz?
September 2019.
2019 or 18?
It's a little blurry, 18, yeah.
And what was the damage to your car when it was hit from behind by another car?
Oh, it was just rear-ended.
So you had rear damage to your car?
Correct.
When did you take the car to be fixed by the defendant?
The car got damaged in September, so the
No. First of all, you were coming to court today. This is what I'm trying to put together from your complaint. Your car was rear-ended by a car that had insurance. You took it at some point to the defendant. Prior to taking it to the defendant, you had another accident where a car hit your car in another location.
Correct.
That car took off. So when you took your car to the defendant to be fixed, you specifically said to him, do not fix the other damage to the car because that wasn't caused by the person who hit me in the rear. That's what you say.
Correct.
Because you either weren't planning on fixing it or you didn't have the money to fix it.
Correct.
The defendant, according to you, dealt with the insurance company, and then you went to pick up your car. Was the rear of your car fixed?
Yes.
Is my question. And the rear of your car was fixed to your satisfaction?
No, it wasn't.
Well, show me pictures of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me. I have pictures
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Side, and the fixed that you showed me, the passenger side.
Yes, made a mistake.
You
We're
made
human.
a mistake. You know when you made a mistake?
Yes.
When you came here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jorge Reyes Ruiz claims body shop owner Jorge Linares improperly fixed his car after an accident.
So this is what your case is about, Mr. Ruiz. So you're not dissatisfied with the work that he did on the rear of your car. Because if you were dissatisfied with that work, you would have brought me a photograph, right?
Correct.
Right. What you state in your complaint was that the defendant also tried to fix or to make it look better where you had had the other accident, something that you didn't ask him to do and didn't want him to do because you weren't going to fix it. And so when you went to pick up your car, the work that the defendant was supposed to do on the rear was done to your satisfaction. He touched the side of your car. You say you were dissatisfied with the work that he did on the side of your car, and it cost you $4,000 to fix that work.
That is correct.
So now I would like to see a graph of the car before he touched it, after he finished it. Then I want to see the paid bill from the company that fixed it for $4,000, and I want to see a picture of the car that you drove to court with today. Do you understand what I want to see?
So you want a
picture? Mr. Ruiz.
Yes, I understand.
I want a picture of, if you have it, what the car looked like before the defendant touched the side of your car.
It's right here.
That's what the car looked like before he touched. Oh, that's a side swipe.
Yeah, somebody.
So
yeah.
now I would like to see what it looked like when he finished it, that you said you were dissatisfied with. Is that the same side of the car?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, could you put up the other picture first? Okay. Well, on one side, Mr. R.
That is correct, yes.
The other picture looks like the passenger side. Am I crazy?
No, you're right.
Is one side the driver's side and one side the passenger side?
Well, I when, I was...
Wait, just to leave them both up there.
Oh.
Well, you look at them and then tell me, is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you're showing me the passenger side? That's either a yes or a no. Are they two different sides of the car?
Yes, they're two different sides of the car. I made a mistake.
What? You made a mistake. You know when you made a mistake? Do you know when you made a mistake, Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
When you came here. Yeah, when you came here. Goodbye, Mr. Ruiz. Unless you have another picture you want to show me. Unless you want to show me the same side of the car.
I do, but I would have to go to my car
stupid?
and make a...
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
She spread lies after lies. Calling my dogs murderers. I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
Judge Judy.
I'm happy.
Well, I did come a little unprepared.
Bring that over and I take care.
When you don't have the correct information, there's really no case.
Now I'm gonna keep record for anything.
It's a lesson learned.
Somebody's usually responsible for an accident.
A disputed path to their crash.
I was trying to get into this lane here.
But she was already in that lane.
No, I wasn't even in that lane.
I'm actually liking this case.
Now their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
This is Judge Judy. Meredith Less is suing fellow motorist William Frankie for an accident on the road.
Judge, this is case number 42 on the calendar in the matter of Less versus Frankie. Parties are sworn in.
Miss Less, you had a car accident with the defendant over a year ago.
Correct.
You claimed that the accident was his fault. You did nothing about it for a year. Now you say that we have COVID, you had enough time to have your car fixed, so now you're pursuing a claim against him.
Correct.
That's where we're at. You were driving a 2009 Lincoln.
Correct.
With whom were you insured?
Geico.
Do you still have the car?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Frankie, what kind of a car were you driving on August 24th of 2019?
A Toyota Prius.
What year?
2012.
And did you have liability and or collision on the car?
Yes, I had full coverage.
Full?
Yeah.
With what company?
Kemper.
For my information, When you had this accident, did you exchange information with Miss Less? Did you give her your insurance card and your registration and your license?
Yeah, I don't remember about the license and registration, but I definitely gave her my insurance.
You had never met Mr. Frankie before, is that right?
That's correct.
So if you had an accident that you allege was his fault and you decided not to call the police to the accident, I assume you were satisfied that you had sufficient contact information for him.
Correct. We exchanged all information.
So you had his insurance card?
Correct.
When did you notify his insurance company?
I contacted my insurance that day, and they started the process. And then I got in touch with Kemper within a few days, and they had me go through their process.
And what happened?
I submitted all the photos and information through, and then that was it. And then I think within a month I got information regarding what the estimate for repairs would be.
Okay, did you get a check from his insurance company?
In July of this year, but I haven't done anything with it because...
What was the check that you got from Kemper Insurance?
It was 50% of the estimated repair costs.
Would you please tell me what was the amount of the check?
The amount was $715.43.
And when you accepted the check, you signed a document that said that that was in full satisfaction of your claim.
No, I did not.
You had to, otherwise they're not going to send you a check.
Well, what happened was I took the car to a mechanic, and they called the insurance, and we're speaking with them, and they said they would send over a check. And then when I got the check, I called because it was for half the amount when they said they were going to pay 100% of the estimated repair cost.
Did you cash the check?
No. I have the check physically with me.
It?
Yes.
Great. Take it out. Great. Okay, very good. I'm actually liking this case. So you have an estimate.
I do.
To fix your car.
Through Kemper,
I'd like
yes.
to take a look at it because under a check, they found that you were at fault. Your insurance company found you were at fault. You understand that?
Correct, 50% from my understanding.
Well, they only sent her 50%. Your understanding from what she says is she got 50%. Your insurance company found you were sufficiently at fault to send her a check.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to tell me about the accident in a second. Would you just put up on my evidence screen the estimate of having the car fixed?
Yes, I already did.
$1,430. Okay, great. Now would you show me the damage to the car?
I have two photos. Here's the first one. It's the right passenger side above the wheel fender area.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a check. So the estimate is for $1,430.
Correct.
To fix it. You got a check for them for $715. Can you tell me why you're suing him for $1,430?
Well, I'm suing him for the full amount because he's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Yeah, but you already have a check for half.
Okay, so when I spoke with my insurance adjuster, he said you either accept the check they sent or you take Mr. Williams to court. So I haven't done anything with the check. I'm not going to because I'm here today.
Okay. So you have that check. Now, who was making a left turn? Were you both preparing to make a left turn?
No.
I was preparing to make a left turn.
Okay. And was Miss Less in front or behind you?
She came from behind me.
All right. Miss Less, you're driving down. You're driving in the same direction. You're in the left lane. He's in the left lane. He was looking to make a left turn?
So I was in the middle lane on the street. He was in the lane to my right. And he was somewhat behind me, like we weren't head-to-head on that. So when I kept going and then he decided to turn, he hit the front passenger side of my car. I was going straight.
You were going straight, and he says you were making a left turn?
I was getting into the turn lane to make a left turn.
But she was in the middle.
Yeah,
You were on her right.
I was on her right, correct.
I'm trying to visualize
I have
this.
some pictures.
She's in the middle lane. You're on the right lane.
Correct.
Oh, I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's better.
I'm the blue car.
I'm not following. You're both going in which direction? Point to the direction that you're going. I see where her car is.
We're going this way.
In that direction.
Correct.
And
I had just
she
come...
is the orange.
Correct. So I just come from this direction on a street, and I took a left turn.
Okay.
And I intended to go up here to take another left down here. And this,
Okay,
so
but
I wanted to get...
But she's in your space.
So, yes, I think she was... I assumed she was also intending to take a left turn on to Romaine from La Brea here. That's what I assumed, because I was trying to get into this turn lane here. And there's...
Right, but she was already in that lane.
So I did not see her in this lane. I thought that you had to... I think she came from here into this turn lane, and I was going into this turn lane. I was going into this turn lane to get here.
I see that.
I hit her here because I'm assuming she was going to go straight through to take a left turn also.
She was going straight.
Correct.
No, she said she was going straight. You were not making a left turn.
No, I wasn't even in that lane.
She was in this turn lane. So
I was in the middle
you
lane.
Want to show me where you were?
Sure, I would love
to. You want to show me where you were?
And I wouldn't be making a turn because I know I was heading to Los Feliz, where I'd be making a right onto Sunset. So,
okay,
there I am in the middle lane, going northbound.
And you're going straight?
Correct.
And he's all the way turn?
Correct.
I got it. Did you have any damage to your car, sir?
The damage was very minimal. I have a picture of my mirror, but it was very minimal. Do you want to see the picture?
Well, is the mirror what hit her car?
That's what I thought hit her car. I'm not sure. I think when I have pictures of her car and I see that her mirror, it looked like I hit her mirror and possibly her fender.
Okay.
But I was unsure if I hit the fender when I saw the damage.
Okay. Mr. Frankie, you know, it's an accident. It's not an on purpose. It's an accident. Somebody's usually responsible for an accident. Sometimes it's both people's fault, but usually it's one person's fault. That looks to me, what I saw, that this accident was your fault. You were in the right lane trying to get over to the left lane, and you hit her car. Didn't cause a lot of damage to yours. It's an accident, right? You had insurance. Your insurance company copped out. Her damage was $1,400. They paid her $7,000. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
I know that I was intending to go into, I'd already went this direction, the opposite direction, past Romaine to go to Willoughby, which is further down, if you want to look right here on the chart. So Romaine is up here, Willoughby is down here, parking Romaine over here that I intended to go to. And you can only get there from going to Romaine. You can't get there from the other direction. So I went down, made a U-turn on Willoughby, came back.
I understand exactly what you're saying to me, sir, but you were in the right lane going to the left lane.
Can I show you another picture then?
And you hit her.
Yes.
She didn't hit you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't think anybody's driving in the parking area.
Sometimes you can in California because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times.
Oh, this is true. You're right.
And later today.
What special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash?
Meredith Less says fellow motorist William Frankie merged into her lane and ran into her car.
Now, she didn't hit you. You hit her.
But there's a flaw in the other picture that she showed.
Okay, I'd like to see it.
So if you would bring up that picture that she showed, you can see, but I don't have her picture. But I do have this Google map right here, whichever you'd like to look at.
They confuse me usually.
So right here, I can turn it so it's the same as the chart.
Okay, better.
Okay, so here's Romaine. We're going up here. This is the turn lane. You can see the arrow right there.
No, I understand that. Where was your car?
So do you see that?
Was your car in the right lane?
The parking spots right here where you can park your car? So
yes.
I was not.
Is what you're telling me there were parked cars there?
Yeah,
were there cars parked there?
I parked there. I pulled off the road and parked there from.
For what?
From after I got hit here, I pulled right over here, and I have a picture showing where my car was parked right after that.
Well, you didn't get hit because your car hit her.
Yeah, so I parked right there, I was trying to get into this turn lane, and
Well,
I don't think
I-
anybody's
is- is
driving
what
in
you-
this parking area, was what I'm saying. There's two other lanes here.
Well, sometimes you can in California, because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times,
This is
there
true. You're right.
Streets. There are streets where you're not allowed to park at all during certain times, and there's free-flowing traffic there.
Actually,
so my
you're
question
right. Yes,
is,
and it was at 7 o'clock, which is a rush hour.
so that would have been no parking in that area, as it is on Wilshire, for instance. You're not allowed to park after 4. Mr. Frankie, I think that you owe the plaintiff $715, and then she's got the check from your insurance company. Now you're whole. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $715. We're done.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She makes the final call.
She looked to the evidence and saw the truth in what transpired that day.
I came in here just trusting that justice would prevail, and I kind of trust the final call.
He stated he was fiddling with the GPS.
Accidents happen.
Trying to get the car fixed.
All parties in the matter of Vasugi versus Hill, step to the podium, please.
Hamid and Susan Vasugi are suing William Hill for the cost of a pontoon boat, a boat motor, and registration fees.
Mr. and Mrs. Vasugi, you purchased what you call a party boat.
Yes.
From the defendant, spent a lot of money not only for the boat, but for parts for it, for furniture for it, and now claim that you can't register it because of certain problems with the defendant's registration, and that you ordered a motor for the boat from him, gave him money for the motor for the boat, which he has not put in to the boat.
Yes.
Correct. Suing for $5,000. I have a couple of questions. Do you have a photograph of this boat that you take a look at it? Are those pontoons on either side?
Yes.
So it's a pontoon boat.
Yes.
And this pontoon boat is 30 years old, according to your complaint.
Yes, it's a 1989.
And how much do you claim that you paid the defendant for it?
$6,500 cash and $547 DMV fees.
You paid him, according to you, $6,500 in cash. Now, my question to you, Ms. Vasugi, before we go any further is, why would you pay him $6,500 in cash if you're a functional illiterate on the internet, as I am, and you can go on the internet and you can buy a 1989 pontoon boat for anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500? And I have owned a pontoon boat. So I would like you to tell me what special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash than you could have any place else where I'm looking on the internet.
The body of the boat is in good condition, the pontoons and the body.
Yes.
We were going to replace all the furniture, and we wanted to fix the current motor, but we changed our mind. We thought it was a good value. We have some boating experience.
Just
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Hamid and Susan Vasugi claim William Hill sold them a pontoon boat with no title or registration.
Okay, now after you paid him allegedly $6,500 for the boat, you invested a whole lot of other money in it. Tell me what other money you invested in the boat, because I need that for my record.
Sure. We bought some furniture for the boat. This is patio furniture.
I have that here. And how much did you pay? Just a second. And how much did you pay for the furniture?
About, it was $3,260.
So far, you're up to almost $10,000.
Yes.
For this 30-year-old boat.
A bimini top.
What kind of work do you and your husband do?
We're retired. We sold a car.
I'd like you to show me.
For the money to do this.
To whom?
To an individual who paid us cash. I have the bill of receipt.
Does it have his name on it and his phone number?
It has his name.
Well, get me his name, and his person paid you for your boat.
For our vehicle. No, this was for our vehicle.
He says he paid you. Just a second. It says he paid Mr. Klein, who I could call. I'm sure you have his number because there's an address there.
Yes, we do. We do.
It says he paid $8,000 in May of 2020, well, the date has changed on that bill of sale to, it was something else before somebody tried to write May 18th.
And I have his phone number if you'd like to call him. But we sold him a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E350. He gave us $8,000 in cash, and that's what we used to purchase the boat.
That's not what you say in your complaint, madam.
Well, we considered
you said you decided to sell. No. In your complaint, you say, we decided to sell our speedboat and buy a patio boat to cruise around. So far, you've spent $10,000
we didn't
on a
sell
boat
the speedboat.
that you could buy.
We still have it.
No, so far, just a second. So far, Ms. Vasugi, you've spent $10,000, and that's before the motor that you said you bought from him. You spent $10,000 on new furniture, $6,500 for a boat that you could have bought for $3,500. So we're up to almost $10,000, and then you decided to invest in a motor. And how much money did you give him for the motor?
$6,000. Yes.
And I'd like to see.
It's not actually a check. We took cash from the bank for $6,000, and then we had $1,000 out of our pocket. 100 out of our pocket.
Ms. Vasugi, so far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
All right, so I'm going to tell you this, Ms. Vasugi. I may be a skeptic, but I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go back to your local small claims court, and if they buy your evidence, good for you. I don't.
I mean,
do you understand?
I don't understand because I have proof of everything I spent. He gave me stickers that don't even belong to my boat.
What I'm telling you is neither you nor your husband look like foolish people. I don't believe in your cash transactions that amount to over $10,000.
They do cost that much, Your Honor.
Just a second. They may, and someone may burst for your arrival here. You go back to your local small claims court and convince a judge, just like me. So I'm dismissing your case without prejudice because I don't buy it. Got it?
Okay. Well, we have it.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.